It's a brother. It's a father. Because a father, because he has carried everybody alone. He started farming agriculture since when he became the Esunupe in 2004. That has shown a lot of people in the kingdom that when you say the ASUU is in the farm, what of you that are sitting here? He is showing example. That is leadership by example. He is somebody that even if you offend him, he will be able to keep that patience. He will be able to, control his temper.
To say, Maji Adin Muslim Chitemoko, Mayebuzaji, Mewa Edufilafia, Banduro, when you say Yabu, Nupenchi, Uwo Yumpe, Eri Jimin Doro, Baba Yabos and Doro. Unde fitina, wa fitina, so. Ena mwanga ga woji kangana wa mesha ga waji mwanga ga lugwa so wa de lokaci ndoci biyu yancha
mwe jiyon bieze ya ka uzuri manga be dabe wa biwo e unje won lo pa e dago ga tungwa wa fayon oji soku yo na won lo tun kiriki be san dondwe kinu pe pata andondo negativity biebuna ngolaliu ngugea mini soko mini albaka soko betuchwe.
He's kind to everybody. Also he's a nice man. Language more the time yeah. Language more there. One of my baby. Always travel. Yeah, banini. But what's your tailors?
I would describe him as someone loving, caring, gentle, soft-hearted. In general, he's a nice man. Even as a military man, he keeps his military this thing at work. If he's at home, he's a gentleman. He do make time for us, at least in a day. We spend more than 3 hours with us and the kids, which is normal.
He's an honest person. He's loving and he's caring. He's a trustworthy person. He's someone you love to be around whenever you're with him. He's a very gentleman.
Do you find time for leisure at all?
Yes.
And if you do, what form of leisure?
No, sometimes, since I used to be a golfer. I'm still a golfer.
Okay.
But time to play the golf now is the problem. I hardly have time to play golf.
Wow.
But I enjoy, sometimes, if I don't go physically to play, I use my computer.
Okay.
I play.
You also play the game?
Yeah, I play the game. Because, it is part of this.
Leisure for you.
Leisure. And then sometimes, even my exercise, I discovered since I left the military, the rate of which I do my body exercise has reduced tremendously. So I need to do some train machine type of thing.
Okay.
Just to keep myself fit.
To keep yourself fit.
Yeah, that's yes.
Wow. Wow.
So
that's interesting.
Yes.
And that is where I want to hang the conversation today with you, Your Royal Highness. Okay. It's been a pleasure and an honor being in your company and sharing all of this with you. Well, I have been spending all of this time in the Bidda Emirates with His Royal Highness, a doctor, Alhaji, a Brigadier General retired, but not tired. I'm talking about His Royal Highness, Yahya Abubakar the 8th Sunupi. And I'm sure that you've had a good time with us on this conversation because I have been thoroughly enlightened and educated. If indeed you've had a good time with us, why don't you join us again, same time, same station next week? Remember, it's me. So for all you care, you don't know what part of Nigeria I'll be coming to you from, or even what part of the world where we're seeking out our trailblazers. Let's do this again, same time, same station on the network service of the NTA. I remain Ololade Adinijateli. Bye-bye.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Disaster occurs on frequent basis. Some we hear of, others we do not. Terrorism, flood, fire, earthquake, car or plane crashes, building collapse, and even armed robbery, each bringing asset and revenue loss, human mortality, and in 90% of survivors, great loss of hope. Flooding is the most common of all environment hazards, and it regularly claims over 20,000 lives per year and adversely affects about 75 million people worldwide. Nigeria has had its fair share. Who can say where the road goes, where the day goes? Only time. And who can say if you rose as your heart shows? Only time.
United States government pledges to partner Nigeria on energy transition. EFCC set to appeal over alleged 6.3 billion naira fraud. Plus, correspondent X-rays effect of use of youth for thuggery. Hello, this is Panorama, reaching you live from the NTA Enugu Network Center. I am Mina Adobe Okobasi. The United States government has pledged to partner Nigeria on her energy transition plan, with the World Bank and international institutions also making similar pledges. This was when some members of the Nigerian Energy Transition Implementation Working Group, led by Vice President Yomi Oshibajo, visited the United States on a 3-day advocacy trip to promote the energy transition plan designed to achieve the global net zero emissions targets by 2060. Vice President Yomi Oshibajo had a brief meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House before leaving Washington, D.C. The federal government has inaugurated a 15-man interministerial committee to plan and organize Nigeria's 62nd independence anniversary celebration. Chairman of the committee and secretary to the government of the Federation, Bas Mustafa, says Nigerians should expect a unique and memorable independence anniversary. Mitai Regbeng reports.
The October 1st celebration usually affords government the opportunity to take stock of progress made in different spheres of development, as well as showcase Nigeria's rich endowments and potentials across the country. In view of the fact that Nigeria's 62nd independence anniversary will be the last to be organized by the Buhari administration, the SGF told members of the Interministerial Planning Committee comprising cabinet ministers and security representatives to make it a memorable anniversary.
Most of the problems Nigeria is experiencing now are not only a global phenomenon, but are also symptoms of a developing country. All hands must be on deck to ensure development of our nation, as it is the only country we have. Therefore, it is our responsibility to ensure that the event is celebrated in a unique way.
The committee members are to co-opt organizations or persons of relevance towards the successful execution of the Independence Anniversary celebration and also document all planned activities, which will include the presidential broadcast and military parade for posterity. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it has taken judicial notice of the judgment of Justice Christy Dalup of the High Court of Plateau State sitting in Jos, discharging and acquitting a former governor of the state, John David Jang, and a former cashier in the office of the Secretary to the state government, Yusuf Pam. Unsatisfied with the verdict of the trial court, the Commission has initiated processes for an appeal. Jonah Jang and Yusuf Pam were tried on 17-count charge bordering on criminal breach of trust and misappropriation of Plateau State funds to the tune of 6.3 billion naira. As a vibrant tool of diminishing corruption in the public service of Nigeria, especially at the federal level, executive members of the anti-corruption and transparency units of various ministries, departments, and agencies in states in the Southeast Zone have in a workshop been equipped with basic knowledge of the national ethics and integrity policy and also engaged in understanding the ethics and integrity scorecard as a valued reorientation tool in public service. Chinenwe reports.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, as well as the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, are at the forefront of fighting corruption in Nigeria, though with the belief that all Nigerians must see fighting corruption as a collective responsibility. To aid in the fight against corruption, the ICPC established anti-corruption transparency units, ACTUs, in various ministries, departments and agencies with a view to monitor official private transactions among officials of the MDAs and how they relate with external clients and ensure that they conform with the higher standards of integrity. There is need to build on the capacities of members of ACTUs to enable them achieve the mandate for which they were established, hence this workshop.
In a brief, integrity is you being what you are, doing what you are doing what is right, even when nobody is looking at you. Then we can also show patriotism by the way we do our duties, we do it responsibly, we obey laws, and then shoot all these tribalism and all that. We should promote those things.
The politicians have their own fora. The commission has a department that is charged of public enlightenment. In those public enlightenment activities of the commission, the politicians are also involved, and other people from different sections of the society.
Various paper presentations were on how members of ACTUs could contribute towards promoting core values of the policy that would rejuvenate, resuscitate lost national values of integrity, human dignity, patriotism, and professionalism, among others. In Enugu, Chinenye Ngoe, NTA News.
The decision by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, To extend the ongoing strike action indefinitely is one that is generating concern for students who are now banking on the hope of a possible intervention by well-meaning Nigerians. Bright Abuja, who spoke with a cross-section of Owerri residents, has details.
Academic Staff Union of Universities, which commenced in February 2022, is one that has taken many by surprise, especially as affected students never expected that academic activities could be crippled for over 6 months. While still trying to grapple with reality and the hope of reconciliation between ASUU and the federal government, the union declared a total and indefinite strike, which commenced Monday, August 29, 2022. Some residents of Owerri, the Imo State capital, while expressing regrets over the failed negotiations, note that there is need for ASUU to shift grounds.
And I don't mind they say it's a devil's workshop. If the children goes back to school, all of them will be busy with their studies. But keeping them at home, at times, you can't tell what will happen.
We're not happy about it because our children are whiling away their time, both staying long in the school, and they are equally disturbed.
Some of the students who are already fed up with the situation are calling for more intervention by well-meaning Nigerians as their hope has been placed on hold due to the latest development.
The year someone is supposed to graduate has been extended. Like me now, I'm supposed to have graduated by, let's say, a few months. But see now, it has to be next year.
The span we ought to spend for like the school stay is now being elongated.
While ASUU remains resolute on the full implementation of the December 23, 2020 Memorandum of Action, Nigerians can only hope for a compromise that will bring lasting solution to the lingering issues. In Owerri, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
While keeping students engaged during the holiday season, especially in skill acquisition, key players in the education sector say involve some creative thinking to achieve productivity and results. They made this known while responding to questions on how best to engage students during the holiday. Chimaroke Ugu reports.
The holiday season is an exciting period for students, as all they want is to enjoy the whole period with their friends and family. According to educationists, it is very important to maximize the holiday season, as it is the duty of teachers and parents to keep their expectation for their awards high.
It's dangerous to run through life. Only one skill. Getting educated is no longer enough to run through life. The economic challenges of running through life demands that you add to your education skill, and if possible, add to your skill business.
The government have mapped out a program we call Skill Fest, Festival of Skills, during this long vacation. And this program is meant to catch the youths while in school and out of school.
For some students, engagement during holiday season will give them the opportunity to learn and unlearn outside the classroom, create memories and other experiences in life.
Engaging myself during the holidays is actually engaging my mind, so I'm having something to do.
Engaging in school activities, but this helps them keep their brain active.
These experts maintain that the focus should be on developing lessons that will teach valuable skills, while also helping young students learn their curriculum and burn extra energy. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu.
We'll take a break here. Panorama continues in just a moment. Do stay with us.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Welcome back. A cross-section of Nigerians have condemned the act of recruiting youths for thuggery during electioneering period. In this report, Eukaria Ugu takes a look at the consequences of engaging the youths as thugs to cause mayhem.
Over the years, since the enthronement of democracy in the country, as the elections draw near and campaigns gather momentum, the political sphere becomes a market where political jobbers display and sell their wares. Following the electoral process of party primaries and emergence of standard bearers, candidates attract supporters as well as political enemies. As a result, some contestants and their political godfathers enlist youngsters they intend using as thugs on election days. The thugs are employed only to cause commotion and disrupt the electoral process. Oftentimes, these boys are equipped with leather weapons to unleash harm on anyone who tries stopping them from snatching ballot boxes and other sensitive election materials.
The first question a youth should ask himself is this: that man that is using you as talk, where are his own children? Where are his first and second cousins? Where are his own relations? Those people that are dear to him, can he use them as talks?
Politicians that usually encourage you or employ to be their talks don't have issues with their opponents at the top. So if you allow yourself to be used as talks and at the end of the day you die, it's your loss.
It is unfortunate, the situation that youths are being used, but I do not see that to continue to trend, because I believe that youths are beginning to be more aware. Because if you look at the situation in the country, even those that are not youths will equally believe that most of the promises given to the citizens entirely have failed in all the promises.
Do these youths know the implications of what they do?
Electoral thuggery is an offense because it involves taking away what does not belong to you in order to achieve an aim that is not just.
They wouldn't want to put you there because they know that if they put you in a juicy position where you will earn good salary or good remuneration, you will no more agree to be used as stocks.
It is the view of many that it is high time Nigerian youths realize that the path of political thuggery leads to doom. Hence, the youth must say no to political thuggery, even as the 2023 general elections draw near. In Enugu, Eukaria, NTA News.
That report brings us to our background discussion today on Panorama. And with me in the studio to do justice to this burning issue is none other but Barrister Chibueze Ugu. He is a Barrister Nwabeze Ugu, I beg your pardon. He is a constitutional lawyer and public affairs analyst. It's good to have you on board.
I'm grateful, my sister. I'm also grateful to our distinguished listeners.
Thank you so much. You listened to that report. Now let's start with the question: who is a youth? Who is a thug?
A youth is generally described as somebody who is between the age bracket of 15 to 35. And but in Nigeria, for the purposes of statistics, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, the United Nations, and some other organizations use the ages between 15 and 24. But generally, anybody that is less than 40 is assumed.
Okay.
And so, but in some other spheres in this country, people that are up to 45, 50 could, to some extent, also be described as youth. And of course, you also know that there are persons who are, by their age, their youth, but by their thinking and mannerism, they could think and behave like old people. There are also people who are men, matured men, up to 60, 65, 70, who could also be described as youth at heart.
Okay.
Because they behave like youth, they think like youths, they also do everything as if they are still that young. So, but generally, anybody that is less than 40 in Nigeria is assumed. Incidentally, our laws didn't define who a youth is. Our laws talk about young person, a child, an adult, which is 18 years, The moment somebody is 18, he has assumed the age of majority. So there is absolutely nothing in law that he cannot do.
Okay, let's examine the role of youths in politicking.
In Nigeria, generally, it is the youth that do election. Incidentally, I've been involved in elections. I go to polling booths every election since 1992, and I participate in every election. So if you get to the polling booth in any election day, it is just the youths that you find there. They will be there in their great numbers. They are the people that will be dictating the pace of events. Many of them stay there to tell people where to vote. Many of them stay there for various kinds of horse trading. And a lot of them also stay there to maintain peace. Some others stay there to work for certain political parties and a whole lot of things. So generally, it is the youths that conduct election. But you see, even before the election day, before the election proper, all those events that lead up to the election are also a part of the election. And that is even far more important than the election day. Because by the election day, most people will have taken a decision on who they will vote, the person they will vote for. But then, in some instances, because many of these youths are the polling booth, some persons could come, they may convince the person to vote for Mr. A, vote for persons they were not planning to vote for when they get there.
Okay.
So, but generally, thuggery begins from electioneering campaign. Most times, when a politician moves, a lot of persons follow the politician depending on how fat his pocket is.
Okay.
Because for any talk that goes with you, you certainly must take care of it.
Okay, for the purpose of this discussion, let's ascertain who really is a thug.
Yes, I honestly was driving to that. A thug is basically a youth. Somebody that's an old man cannot act as a thug. Because what thugs do generally is to protect the interests of the person they're working for. Sometimes they could protect that interest by just harassing other persons. They could protect the interest by just following the person they're working for. They could sometimes protect the interest by fighting against a political opponent. They could, even to some extent, on very rare occasions, even kill to protect the person that they are fighting, that they are working for. And that is why a lot of persons say that thuggery is bad, thuggery should not be engaged in. But generally, thuggery in politics is bad because it does not allow for democratic maturity. It doesn't allow for people who are playing politics to play politics without bitterness, to play politics the way it ought to be played, to play politics the way that the people of Athens in Greece developed what they had in mind when they developed democracy in I think 79 or 76 BC. And it also doesn't make for the votes of the people to count.
Okay.
Because assuming somebody wants to vote for Okeke and some other youth talks, either in the polling booth or somewhere else, force him to vote for Okafor. He has not voted for the person of his choice. Okay. And these are the areas where thuggery is bad. Okay. But generally, if we desire to achieve democratic freedom and democratic decency and decorum like democracy is played everywhere in the world, thuggery should be totally eliminated. Okay. Because it doesn't help us. Okay. It drags democracy down. It bastardizes government. It makes nonsense of the entire political.
What do you think is the reason behind the use of youth for thuggery in the first place? Why would politicians engage the youths for that purpose?
the reason why politicians engage the youth for that purpose, to start with, if you see a man, a politician that is, if you see a politician that is very popular, he has no need for thoughts. If a politician is popular, what use is he going to make of thoughts? Because the people are going to vote for him. So he doesn't need anybody to coerce any person to vote for him. So because thugs are basically to coerce people to vote for persons, to give bribe even in some aspects.
Okay, but
they also give bribe.
Because of time, what is your advice? Your advice to the youths and politicians, especially as we approach 2023 for general elections?
My advice, first, to the politicians, because they are more important than even the youth.
Okay.
It is the politicians that use the youth. If politicians refuse to use the youth for thuggery, you won't hear anything about thuggery.
Okay.
So my advice to politicians is that they should play according to the rule. They should play within the ambit of democratic norms.
Okay.
They should live and let live.
Okay.
They should recognize that their desire, their right to win election ends where the right of some other persons who are contesting against them to win election, the place where their own right begins.
Thank you.
They also have to recognize that the society will be better off if thuggery is totally eliminated.
Thank you.
Then, of course, my advice for the youths is that they should not allow anybody to use them. Because those politicians that are using them for thuggery will never bring their children to use for thuggery. Will never use their cousins. Will never use people who are related, who are closely related to them.
Thank you.
They will only use outsiders.
Thank you so
Give
much.
them money, and in the process, those thugs could be
Thank you
killed
so much.
or harmed
Advice
or
well
made.
taken. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my sister.
Okay, of course. Thank you so much for your time. I've been speaking with Barrister Mwabeze Ugu, a constitutional lawyer and public affairs analyst. It's now time to join Enojo Adeko for updates and sports.
The Nigerian national team B, Chan Eagles, will be playing the Black Galaxies of Ghana at the MQ Abiola National Stadium in Abuja today for the return leg of the African Nations Cup qualifier coming up in Algeria later this year. It will be recalled that the Eagles lost 0-2 to Ghana a week ago in Cape Coast, Ghana. Still football, English Premier League fixtures show that struggling Chelsea will entertain West Ham United. Merseyside derby sees Everton trade tackles with Liverpool at Goodison Park, while defending champions Manchester City will be guest of the Steven Gerrard tutored side Aston Villa at Villa Park. Two World Boxing Super Featherweight champions will on Sunday slug it out in Japan. The bout, which is taking place in Sapporo, Japan, is between Nigeria's World Boxing Federation Super Featherweight champion Ridwan Scorpion Oyekola and Japanese WBC champion Daisuke Watanabe. Ridwan Scorpion Oyekola won the World Boxing Federation Super Featherweight belt in Ibadan, Nigeria on December 28, 2020, after defeating Lucas Matias Martenicino of Argentina. Nigeria began her campaign in the African Under-19 Women's Volleyball Championship in Abuja on a shaky note, losing 1-4, 29-27, 25-20, 25-14, 25-20 against defending champions Cameroon Friday evening. The Nigerian girls will play their second game against Egypt Saturday evening. Para Powerlifting Federation is set to discover and develop budding talents in the sport. Both members of the federation rose from its inaugural meeting at the National Stadium, Lagos, with focus on sponsorship drive and also to ensure it has better preparations at its next international engagements so as to surpass its performance at the last Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. With sports update, Enojo Adiku, NTA News.
And that does it on Panorama from the NTA Enugu Network Center. Well, thank you so much for staying with us. Remember to join the NTA as we stand against rape and rapists. To have a lovely day. I am Mina Adobio Kobas.
The small boy kicked me to open fire on me, so I said, okay, you can cut the right hand. So that's what how my right hand was cut off.
He's working with Gloshivit. We share that. It was that guy. No, it's not an ordinary eye. No, it's not ordinary. Juju use marry his wife.
It all depends on how I handle my story and how you're able to handle your own story.
It is what you decide in your mind that determines you, not your situation.
I don't hear well. But one thing is, we are better together. Welcome to Against All Odds on the Nigerian Television Authority, a program that brings to your doorstep the lives of persons with disability.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's fight in each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigerian first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop? We're always in crisis. Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Lives are in your hands while you try. Protect yourself and others on the road. Vote matters. Show the network service of the NTA.
Campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise. Remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Hello, I'm Esther Githu-Ewart. This is Africa 54.
Fighting has erupted again around the borders of Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, shattering a ceasefire declared in March. We'll explain why the ceasefire has collapsed and what prospects there are for peace talks. And in our entertainment segment, more highlights from 5-time Grammy Award winner Lady Smith Black Mambazo's Washington, D.C. concert.
Fighting is again raging around the borders of Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, shattering a ceasefire declared in March. Both sides blame each other for restarting the war, which originally ignited in November 2020 when Tigrayan forces seized military bases across the region. Henry Wilkins has more from Addis Ababa.
So yesterday there were reports that Eritrea has now joined the fighting on the side of the Ethiopian federal government against the TPLF. We're now looking at a conflict which is taking place on multiple fronts. It's escalated very quickly since fighting restarted on Wednesday last week, bringing to an end a 5-month ceasefire where many people had hoped that there was going to be peace talks. That now looks extremely unlikely. Within Tigray itself, humanitarian organizations had said that parts of the region are likely in a state of famine. The UN has now stopped any humanitarian aid from entering Tigray because of the fighting, which is no doubt going to exacerbate the humanitarian situation inside Tigray, which is already desperate. Both sides have blamed each other for restarting the fighting. It's not yet clear who actually fired the first shots. This is Henry Wilkins for VOA News in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
For more on this renewed fighting, I'm joined live via Skype from Washington by Salem Solomon, lead editor of VOA's real-time news desk. Salem, welcome back to Africa 54.
Thanks for having me.
You know, Salem, you've been following this story, and it hasn't been very clear yet as to what triggered.
Warrings in the area region bordering in Tigray also said that they've been seeing movements of Ethiopian soldiers, Ethiopian defense forces, with their allies restarted troops in Tigray to break to what it called.
Much later, when Abiy said he was aware of it, what is Eritrea's forces' involvement right now, and who invited Eritrean forces in Ethiopia?
Has been underreported in terms of the war in Tigray. So just a couple of days ago, Eritrean they've been mulling military offenses against Eritrea. So this is the stance. Eritrea stands against TPLF. This is a decade-long enmity against the TPLF and Eritrea. So Eritrea, neighboring Eritrea, has sided with the Ethiopian government. And to give your audience a perspective of who's against whom, you have Eritrean forces on one side, Ethiopian federal government forces on the other side, aligning with Eritrea, militia forces from the Amhara region, all against the TPLF. And this wouldn't be the first time Eritrea's involvement in the war in Tigray. Earlier, human rights groups have said that Eritrean forces are involved in what they call war crimes and have entered the Tigray region, attacking refugee camps that Eritrean refugees were seeking refuge in Tigray. And so this is the background in which the newest allegations of involvement of Eritrea is coming up with.
Salem, thank you so much. Let's hope for a quick, peaceful resolution to this. Salem Solomon is the lead editor for VOA's real-time news desk. Kenya's first female Chief Justice, Martha Koome, has adjourned Friday's presidential election petition hearings to allow judges to make a judgment on the petitions that is expected to be delivered Monday. Lawyers presented their arguments before the 7-judge panel. Judges asked the lawyers tough questions about the August 9th disputed presidential elections. Topping these election petitions is one filed by opposition politician Raila Odinga, who is seeking to overturn the Electoral Commission's declaration that Deputy President William Ruto won the election. Mohammed Yusuf reports from outside the Apex Court in Nairobi.
The legal battle at Kenya's Supreme Court between Raila Odinga and President-elect William Ruto has come to an end. Mr. Odinga is challenging the election result of last month, which made him lose the election by a small margin against Ruto. The petitioner, Odinga, demonstrated live to the court how there was irregularities and illegalities in the electoral process and submission of the results. Odinga, through his lawyers, claimed 11,000 polling station results were submitted from one location. The Electoral Commission has made rebuttal on some of those claims. Lawyers representing President-elect William Ruto also defended his win. The 7-judge bench retreats and will consider the evidence produced by Mr. Odinga, the Electoral Commission, IEBC, and the President-elect William Ruto. The judges are expected to give their ruling next week. Mohammed Yusuf for VOA News, Nairobi.
Nairobi resident Gladys Makogo told the Associated Press she believed the court's final verdict will relieve every Kenyan. The Democratic Republic of Congo is suffering from armed conflicts that are now targeting civilians. In the past 2 weeks, Islamic militants from the Allied Democratic Forces have killed more than 40 civilians in North Kivu province, most of them women and children. Medical personnel reported that 76 civilians were also taken hostage by the Ugandan militia that has operated in Ituri region of Congo since the 1990s. For more on these attacks, I'm joined live via Skype by Intl Alimasi, a governance and anti-corruption specialist. Mr. Alimasi, welcome back to Africa 54.
Thank you, Esther.
So what is being done to safeguard the welfare of civilians in Ituri?
That's the $1 million question. Because at this point, we know that the government of the DRC has called upon, has authorized the UPDF to come and fight the ADF on Congolese territory. But since a while, the Ugandan army has ceased giving updates as to what they are doing, how they are doing, what has been done with the rebels, and so on and so forth. And the FARDC, meaning the DRC army, have not been giving updates either. So people really don't know what's going on in this point. What I can tell you for sure is that for observers that we are, the DRC has made a big mistake, actually, starting in November of last year, when the DRC allowed the Ugandan forces to come on its soil. Because at that point, if you remember well, in November, that's when there were 3 bombings in Kampala. Mm-hmm. People at this point in the DRC believe that the ADF that is in the DRC or was in DRC has always been in DRC for predatory reasons, but by just trying to get minerals and timber, whatever they could put their hands on. But from the moment they allowed Uganda to come in, so they made themselves party to that.
Intl, very quickly, what's the impact of this conflict on the civilian population?
It's very dire because, people are dying. There's no movement of people around anymore. I can see at the point where whenever there is some people coming from North Kivu, which is really very close to Ituri, going into the Ituri region, there's fighting. Of course, that goes with the occupation of the land that the ADF has done. Mm-hmm. So, and of course, the Congolese population is very, very upset about it. It's, calling on the government to show what the state of siege has produced so far. And I think it's having some great impact as to what people expect from the elections next year.
Right, Intl, I think we'll have to leave it there. Hope for peace and hope that President Tshisekedi and Museveni can have discussions on this. Intl Alimasi is a governance and anti-corruption specialist and a native of DRC. Chadian authorities have arrested 84 young activists linked to an opposition party who called for protests against a national dialogue underway in the country. Police say a caravan of activists from the Transformers Party was roaming the streets of the capital, Jamena, to promote a rally planned for Saturday. The activists are part of a coalition bringing together the majority of opposition movements and civil society organizations which are boycotting an ongoing national dialogue launched in August by the transitional president and head of the ruling military general, Mahamat Idris Deby Itno. The United Nations Chiefs of Police Summit kicked off in New York this week, bringing together senior government and police officials to deliberate on the contribution of the UN police to sustainable peace and development. Speaking to journalists in New York, Violet Nasambu Lusala, the police commissioner of the UN Interim Security Force for Abyei, highlighted the significant strides regarding gender parity responsiveness in her forces.
UNISFA has made significant strides in regarding gender parity responsiveness in the police component, and I'm proud to inform you that in a professional cadre, I have 75% of women, and then in IPOs, I have 36.7%.
Burkina Faso Chief Warrant Officer Alizeta Kabore Kinda is the recipient of the 2022 United Nations Woman Police Officer of the Year Award. A ceremony was held in New York this week, during which Officer Kinda received her award from UN Peacekeeping Chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix. Kinda serves as a gender focal point with the United Nations Multi-Dimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in Mali, where she supports the Malian security forces in the Menaka region to promote and improve understanding of gender, child protection, human rights, and civil protection issues. Kinda says she is very proud of her work.
I am happy and proud to stand before you to receive this exceptional award. I'm very grateful that my work in MINUSMA and in the Menaka region is valued and recognized. I am honored that my efforts have been rewarded beyond my expectations. I am pleased that despite the terrorist threats, the IEDs and rocket attacks, the efforts of my colleagues and myself are receiving accolades. More than anything, I am happy that I have invested in what I love most, contributing to women's capacity building.
Kinda's efforts have also focused on expanding the number of girls in schools and reducing early marriages. Still to come, a special music encore from South Africa's Ladysmith Black Mambazo Band. Stay with us. In other African news, 7 people were killed and 23 injured as tribal violence flared in Sudan's southern Blue Nile state just weeks after major clashes. The United Nations says world food prices have fallen for a 5th consecutive month, partly due to the resumption of grain exports from Ukraine. And U.S. President Joe Biden and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa are set to hold talks at the White House on September 16th to discuss trade, investment, climate, and energy. Senegal has arrested 3 healthcare workers over the death of a pregnant woman and her baby, according to a union representative. This is the latest in a string of maternal mortality tragedies. During a delivery in the rural southeastern town of Kedugu on Tuesday night, a woman and the baby she was carrying died. A health union representative told AFP on condition of anonymity because the legal case is ongoing. Africa-focused e-commerce business Jumia Technologies is planning to reach its customers in remote and rural areas by partnering with Zipline, a San Francisco-based drone delivery company. Clara Frank has more.
The venture is combining San Francisco-based Zipline's automated delivery system with Jumia's distribution network to deliver products such as electronics, cosmetics, and fashion to remote areas of Ghana. Zipline currently offers drone delivery of blood, vaccines, and other medical equipment. It's active in Ghana, Rwanda, Nigeria, and the United States, with its most recent foray into Japan. A Jumia spokesman says the partnership is part of a plan to reach a growing customer base in rural and remote areas, which make up about 27% of the company's deliveries. The spokesman said he could not immediately give financial details. Nevertheless, the loss-making company is hoping the initiative helps profits take off. In August, Jumia revealed it expects full-year losses before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization of between $200 million and $220 million. It did, however, say it was past peak losses. Jumia was the first Africa-focused tech startup to list on the New York Stock Exchange in 2019. It operates in 11 of the continent's countries and has a current market capitalization of $741 million, according to data from Refinitiv. In a statement, Jumia and Zipline says that after a successful pilot program and testing in Ghana a few months ago, they plan to expand into Ivory Coast and Nigeria, but gave no time frame. Clara Frank, VOA News, Washington.
In our entertainment report, the 5-time Grammy Award-winning group Ladysmith Black Mambazo is currently on its U.S. tour. You may recall our report on the legendary a cappella group's concert and interview here in Washington recently with Music Time in Africa host Heather Maxwell from last Friday. Well, we didn't think we saw quite enough of the performance, so we're bringing you an encore today. Here is the recorded music from that concert.
Oh, abafana benza, abafana benza, abafana benza. Baya tele, abadali kahle. Abafana benza, abafana benza. Ukuza wenompempe. Baya tele, abadali kahle. Umaso, singadala kanje. Angeke kulunga, angeke kulunga. Umasonke, singadala kanje. Angeke kulunga, angeke kulunga. Abafana benza, abafana benza, abafana benza. Abadali kahle, abafana benza, abafana benza. Ukhuza bayathelela abadali kahle, umasonke singadala kanje, angeke kulunge, angeke kulunge, umasonke angeke kulunge, angeke kulunge. Awu bakhuzeni bo, awu bakhuzeni bo, awu bakhuzeni beseni, awu bakhuzeni bo, bayayona yonke lento, bazoyona yonke lento, bayayona yonke lento, bazoyona yonke lento, bayayona yonke lento, bazoyona yonke lento, bakhuzeni bayakanga, bakhuzeni bayaka, bakhuzeni labo bantu betseni, bakhuzeni bayaka, bakhiphe phansi, bakhuzeni bakhuzeni bakhiphe bakhuzeni 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 bakhiphe ngaphansi, bakhuzeni 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 bayaka, bakhuzeni bayaka, bakhuzeni labo bantu betseni, bakhuzeni bayaka, awu bakhuzeni bo, bakhuzeni, awu bakhuzeni, awu bakhuzeni, bakhuzeni, awu bakhuzeni, 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 bakhiphe ngaphansi, bakhuzeni, bakhuzeni
And that's our show from all of us here in Washington. Have a great weekend.
The Sewa Oasis is an urban oasis in Egypt between the Qattara Depression and the Great Sand Sea in the Western Desert, 50 kilometers east of the Libyan border and 560 kilometers from Cairo. The oasis is about 80 kilometers in length and 20 kilometers wide. It is one of Egypt's most isolated settlements. The name Sewa Oasis perfectly represents the palm trees that the oasis is famous for. It is also best known for olive trees and crystal clear salt lakes. Sewa Oasis is home to Siwan Berbers, also known as Amazigh, who still have their language preserved just as they also speak Arabic. Its fame derives primarily from its ancient role as the home to an oracle of Ammon, the ruins of which are a popular tourist attraction which gave the oasis its ancient name, Oasis of Amun-Ra. Geographically, the Sewa Oasis is in a deep depression that reaches about 19 meters below sea level. To the west of the Sewa Oasis rests the Daghboub Oasis in a similar depression, and to the east is the large Qattara Depression, which is also below sea level. Sewa has always been a famous stop throughout history for travelers and nomads. It provided them with an abundant water supply, food, and shelter. Humans lived here since the 29th century BC, according to historical records. The oasis of Sewa is salty because it is surrounded by 3 huge salt lakes that are supplied with fresh water from underground springs. These springs supply water that is believed to have been underground for 30,000 to 50,000 years. The lakes and the marshland around them are also well known as bird-watching paradises. Sewa is truly culturally unique, relaxing, and stunningly beautiful owing to the unique natural resource and rich set of attractions. As such, it has become a huge tourist destination, and a visit to the oasis provides an avenue for visitors to engage in a number of activities of choice, both day and night. If you are passionate about hiking, you can climb the Dakrur mountain, the highest hill in the oasis, where you will get one of the most rewarding views in your entire life. You will be able to have a 360 view of the whole oasis, and of course, the scenery presents beautiful palm tree fields combined with the contrast of the desert and water bodies. It is very interesting to notice the fossils of coral reefs on the top of this hill, which proves that this lowland was once completely submerged under the sea. Even though this hill is the highest point in Sewa, it is still below the current sea level by 25 meters. Moreover, Dark Road Mountains is very famous among visitors because of the nearby sand burial remedy centers. People from all over the world come to these centers seeking cure for rheumatism and relief from back pains. You can float in the salt lake at the Oasis, which is another activity you can engage in, especially that this incredible place is known for its crystal clear water with its magnificent high blue color. The salt lakes attract visitors from all over the world, not only for its beauty, but also for its healing power against sinuses, as well as skin and eye infections. The water in these lakes can reach up to 4 meters deep. But you know what? You don't have to worry even if you can't swim, because it is impossible to drown. You will naturally float in these lakes due to their high saturation of salt. The experiences in this beautiful oasis are endless. Among them is the feeling of a hot spring in the cold desert at night. You can find these pools of hot, relaxing water in various camps. Just put on your swimsuit and dip into this warm, relaxing water. These natural hot springs could reach temperatures up to 60 degrees Celsius. Another refreshing spring around city in Cleopatra's Bath. Legend has it that Cleopatra went there to have a refreshing bath. Again, you can enjoy an excellent sand dune safari. This amazing ocean of sand only takes seconds to make you realize how enormous the world is. Spanning over 72,000 square kilometers, the Great Sand Sea lining the oasis is marked as the world's third largest dune field. It is a very beautiful and serene place where you can go for night camping and enjoy the moon and the starry night. Additionally, if you are up for some spots, you can enjoy sandboarding. Whether you are into sandboarding, quad biking, or simply camping out in the desert amid the vast, uninterrupted serenity, make sure you reserve a day for this fun-packed desert expedition. In fact, we can go on and on, pointing to the activities tourists or other visitors can engage in once at the Sewa Oasis. These and other experiences are out there for you. Commonly, however, it is advisable to visit the oasis during the winter months and experience cultural richness in addition to magnificence of its nature and topography. What remains is for you to make a move and pay a visit, and no doubt you will be glad you did.
Africa's fast-growing personal care and beauty markets are making the most of the boom projected for the industry in sub-Saharan Africa, a continent seen as the next frontier in the sector. Today on The Enterprise, we sat with a budding beauty brand in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja.
I actually had a vision to run a business. I didn't know why, I didn't know if it was possible, but I just had that. Then during the pandemic, we had a lockdown, so everybody was at home and it was just like a reflective time. I had time to express other interests that I had.
Raliat Abe considered the high road of entrepreneurship after having a fair share of paid employment. In her case, paid employment was relatively good, but there was a burning desire to birth her own enterprise.
So I'd worked with the Nigerian brand for about 10 years. And after which I started to do some sort of business coaching and trainings for female businesses, So I called it the Mentoring and Coaching Lounge, where I helped female businesses with their business when it comes to operations, customer service, employee, HR, and all of that. So that's what I used to do. But because I'd worked in the beauty field for that number of years, even if I did other things, I still knew how to do my makeup properly. I still had selling skills. You have different things. So I'm like, okay, why don't I even start a beauty business? Now you will say, what gives you the confidence to do so many things? I don't know. I'm just that person that is adventurous. I could try out things. And I had done some kind of training in entrepreneurial management, which was with EDC, the Pan-African University. So I knew the whole process of starting a business, running the operations, running your inventory and customer service, and going through it. So I started a beauty brand.
Thanks to a burgeoning population, the beauty and personal care market in Nigeria is expanding in leaps and bounds. And Rally Rich Beauty brand is one of the sector's rising stars, offering a wide range of services.
We run beauty services, we do bridal makeup, we do microblading, we do waxing, threading, and all the services that beauty businesses do. Also, we sell beauty products. We sell beauty products. Then we started our own beauty brand, which is the Rally Rich Beauty line. And we have just started with about 3 products. In those 3 products, they have different colors, different shades, and different styles. But that's where we are for now.
The creative director takes the personal care business quite literally as she explains her inspiration for the brand. She also hopes to capture the essence of the Nigerian woman, who is known for her elegance, unique versatility, and style.
So we try to communicate beauty in its diversity. Whoever you are, there's something for you. If you like color, beauty doesn't have to be boring, doesn't have to be a straight jacket. One way is that I'm a lady, I'm fun, I like to play, I have something for me. Oh, I'm serious, I just want to be, I have something for you. So that's what we try to communicate with the Rally Rich Beauty brand. We are going to be offering you something beyond your identity when it comes to makeup. I know that makeup beautifies, it enhances, it makes people look good. However, we do not believe that that's all that there is to you. We believe there is more. One of our values is integrity and fun. There's integrity, there's fun as part of our values. Then there's beauty in its original form. So beauty as in what beauty means when it comes to how God created us. Not beauty because you wear lashes or because you do all of that, but beauty because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And we try to communicate that through our products.
As inspiring as she sounds, the beauty market is also divided by demand for both local and international products, with the latter dominating the market. Consumers typically expect high-quality products that are both reliable and affordable. So how does a relatively new and local brand compete?
Nigeria still has a problem with new things. Like I'm going to try this new person. I'd rather try an international brand and feel along. I think sometimes I look at it and I'm like, so it's not really our fault. It's a complex thing that happens to us as a nation. If people are in a foreign country, you really want to appreciate, you want to identify more with them than people that are here working so hard and all of that. So that's a whole mindset thing. However, we have gotten some kind of support because just the fact that, people, let me try it out. You're doing this, let's see how it goes, and you try to make it up to standard. So you want the packaging to be proper, you want it to be attractive, you just want to do it in a way that, okay, it's Nigeria, but I like the way it looks, and people want to identify with it. You are going to have to be adventurous. There's some form of risk when it comes to business. You don't have to know everything. Trust me, even if you know everything, it won't work out that way. And you don't have to know everything. You have to trust your gods as you move along. There's something in you that tells you this is the way to go. You have to also trust that thing. You're not just going to wait to hear all the facts played out. Yes, by the time you have done this math, it doesn't work like that. Sorry to say. It's helpful, but it doesn't work like that.
It definitely takes a healthy dose of passion and dedication to talk about your business with such unflinching resolution, but it demands even much more to drive sales and increase profits, which is the ultimate intention of any business.
Passion is very important. Like they say, you start something from passion, but there's a point you get to, you need knowledge to go with your passion. Your passion cannot sustain you anymore. So how it works is that you start business. They say experience is the best teacher, but someone else says the experience of someone else is better than the experience that you experience. Awareness is very key. If you cannot spend all the money doing the feasibility studies, going here and here, be very, very aware. Ask people from different pools that are likely to use the product that you're making or the service, and ask, what is your pain points? You know this thing, they say, oh, create something for people, then force them to buy it. It's harder, it's more difficult. Some people can do that, however, it's more difficult. How about I just meet you at your point of need? The moment that happens, bam, you will take it. You'll be like, oh, is that it? I want it, you know, and those are the things that you don't see, that don't last on the shelf. So learn from people that have done it before, and it'll be easier and faster. That's the truth. So that's what knowledge is when it comes to business. However, sometimes we procrastinate, so you are waiting to gain all the knowledge. No, start. There are some other things, no matter what you learn, there are things that are peculiar to your own business, and you experience it, no matter what the experience is. But it's good to learn, and it's good to acquire knowledge.
The cosmetics and personal care industry globally generates an estimated annual turnover of around $400 billion. Research also indicates that Nigeria's cosmetics industry is valued at $3.4 billion. Hence, it is a sector that requires a fairly decent capital outlay to venture into. How did she do it?
I had grown in a mindset that kind of tells you that funding is not your first problem. So every time, and truly, if we ask ourselves deeply, when somebody asks you, oh, you want to do this, so what, you know, you'll be like, oh, I would have done this, but money. So there's this thing that we just hide under funding. Funding is very important, don't get me wrong, but it has its place at a particular time. So there was a young lady that came to me and she said she wanted to do her product line, but funding has been holding her. So I'm like, okay, if somebody wants to give you money now, what do you need? She doesn't know. Where do you want to get the product from? She doesn't know. What do you want to start with? She didn't know. So I said, you are not ready. Funding is not yet your problem. It will be a problem eventually. But it's good to get to the point where you have your invoice already. You just need the money to pay for it. But we don't even get to that point. We have not researched. We've not decided. We just hide under the umbrella of funding. So I started with every other thing first. So when it got to the time for funding, I knew that, oh, what I need now is funding. And to get funding means that you have to show someone a plan, or they have to see what you say you want to achieve. Where are you going with this? What do you want to, even if it's family and friends. I actually started with my own personal savings, family and friends. However, at your next level, you are going to need some form of investment. If you're not getting grants, then you're going to need some form of big investment to put out the things you want to do the commercials you want to do. Now, how are you keeping records? Are you posting your sales regularly? Can people say, oh, this is what you generated in the month or in a week? Can they say this is your fast selling product? And why is it your fast selling product? So you need all that data for you to get funding eventually, but you will start small, then you grow into it.
When we come back, we will explore her life in paid employment and how she discovered another stream of income. Raliat also shares her perspective on whether everyone can be an entrepreneur.
Everything that I brought out of myself when I was in the paid employment is the things I used to run my life today. When you are employed, you have room to try a lot of things, find the ones you like the best. There are some things you are not interested in, you don't even bother with them, you know. So you go through those things and you are experienced, so you can do your business when the time comes, if that is your vision.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
In 2019, Times Nigeria had just rebranded the Nigeria's Employee of the Year Award in celebration of the most productive and punctual employees in Nigeria. The award is designed to promote accountability of time and resources in Nigeria's workplaces. Raliat Abbey was the 2019 winner of the Times Nigeria Employee of the Year Award.
My boss at the time, Tara Dorothy, she said that, why do you think you won the award? What made you to stand out as an employee that made the company to nominate you? Then when you went to the national platform, you won. Like, what are the things that you live by when it comes to work? So she's like, give me 10 points. I'm like, okay. So I just started to write some of my work ethics. What do I do when I come to work? How do I perceive work? So I wrote 10 things. So as I was writing, I saw that it involved more than 10, and I got to 20. And I'm like, okay. So I sent her the 20, and when she looked at it, she's like, are you sure you're not taking from Google? Then I laughed. I said, no, I wrote what came to my mind. So just write, okay, when I come to work, what's my work in comparison to people? How do I perceive my colleagues? I just wrote different things, and I sent them to her. So she now came back to me and said, do you know what my husband thinks? He thinks you can make this a book. I'm like, not an author, I can't make it any book. You know, she just said it in the passing, and in my mind, I just... Then she's like, no, to be honest, if you don't want to write, you can, take one of the tips and do it like a voiceover around it. Put stories around it, and all of that. Then give somebody to transcribe. I said, okay, it sounded good. Anyway, I didn't do it. Like who she is, the mentor, the kind of person she now said, in short, I want you to do that thing. She didn't give me a deadline. Do it at so time and tell me that you have done it. So I said, okay. So I did the voiceover. She actually even told me the person to send the voice over to. So I sent it to the person and I left it at that. So during the COVID year, when we're at home, that same COVID year, so I'm like, as I started to dive into online, I was seeing lots of online ebooks and blah, blah. So I'm like, maybe I should visit that book now. So I went to it. However, the person that I had given to transcribe, she's a blogger, so she put it on her blog. She asked me that, can she put the... I'm like, yes, because I didn't think of publishing a book with it. So because she put it on her blog, when I started writing and I started to do the plagiarism check, I couldn't use the same thing. So I had to change the whole words. I still use the tips. However, I had to change the wordings. I had to change the stories. And that was how I just used the time during that COVID year. That was how the book came about. And the book was good because organizations started to call that they wanted their employees to be trained. And they got the book and I trained them on the book.
2020, the pandemic year, unlocked new levels for so many people. With the lockdown, businesses folding up, and even some firms downsizing, survival became that of not only the fittest, but the most creative. Social media soon became a hotspot, and she was one of those whose long-lost passion paid off.
So I'd always wanted to start a book club. I never really had the time. So during the pandemic, I'm like, why don't I make it a virtual book club? So that's how I started the virtual book club. And I got interested in the online business. I started doing some form of social media coaching online. And I discovered that the people that came for my programs, like, oh, okay, you have this challenge, I can help you with it. It were just things I knew how to do. And when they come, the problems were beyond just the business. So they had life issues. They want to ask about, okay, how do you balance your life? How do you have a work-life balance? How are you able to do this and you're working? How, you know, so I put that into a training and I started the mentoring and coaching lounge, which would run like for a period of 8 weeks. And after that, there's a pause. We get other people enrolled and it runs for that time. And that's what I was doing after the pandemic. And during my years as an employee, when I was managing, I had to train people, train employees. So I get jobs like, oh, calls out for my organization. Oh, we want to do this. We want to recruit new people. Can you help us do the recruitment process? Or we want to do onboarding from people that are already in the organization, training to get people with the right mindsets when it comes to working. And that's what the book I authored is actually about. And some of the things that I put in the book were the things that made me an outstanding employee. So there's a mindset to work, which is not, I don't know, the mindset is not available.
In a challenging economy like ours, the need to engage in multiple income streams is at an all-time high. But the question remains whether everyone can be an entrepreneur. This argument has become polarized over time.
Everybody can be an entrepreneur because there are a set of skills that you can be put through training, and you can get to that point. However, not everyone is called to be an entrepreneur. So even if you try, maybe if you put yourself to it and say, I want to be an entrepreneur, so what do I need to learn? You know, what are you first passionate about? You start from that. What are the set of skills they'll put you through, blah, 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 you will get there. Now, everybody's not called, because if everybody's an entrepreneur, who will work with you? Who will do, you know, you need a team to achieve your vision. Everybody can be an entrepreneur. So you work independent, even in an organization, because you can come up with your ideas. They will let you come up with your ideas. The way the workplace is going now, you can come up with your ideas. You can determine how much you earn based on what you bring to work, not that you just sit down and end of month, you know, and all of that. And you have to have mind for risk. You have to be able to take risk. You have to be adventurous, yeah. Because one day you are blowing up, tomorrow, another day you are like, am I sure about this? But I say entrepreneur as just a lead way for you to make as much money as you want to make.
Mentoring is a fundamental form of human development where a person invests time, energy, and personal know-how in assisting the growth and ability of another person. Raliat is one person who has benefited from a mentoring relationship.
I think it's very important to have mentors or coaches or, you know, people that you look up to help you in business, because they've experienced some things, so they can save you the pain of that same experience, you know. And sometimes people go out to look for mentors. You just see somebody say, I want you to mentor me. But I noticed that people don't just pick mentees. They want people that add value too. So there must be something you are bringing to the table, you know. They must see something. There's a pull that makes them say, oh, this person is interested in learning something. This person, you know, this person is inquisitive. Maybe you ask lots of questions. You always want to help out. When they are doing events, you are there to support. Then they will say, okay, I can invest in this person. They can nominate you for things. If there are grants happening now, you probably will never know. And it's somebody that will say, come, Randy, come and take this grant. It's available for small businesses, because there's a little you can see, no matter how you try. They say, what's a child who sits on the tree? An old person will be sitting down, crossing their legs, they will sit.
No one begins their entrepreneurial journey with all the tools that they would like. The only real difference between entrepreneurs and the rest of the world is that they don't get in their own way. Raliat shares some tips for success.
So one thing is clarity. Just have some form of clarity around what you want to do and how far you want to go with it. Now, you might not be exact. You know, your vision might not be very exact. But as you go along, you would see that, there are ways you are going to turn. Then you need to be flexible. Don't say, this is the only way we are going to do it and we will remain like that. The world is evolving. Everything should evolve. You should evolve. The business should evolve. You need to have a winning mindset. Even when you have bad days, in quotes, bad days means days that are very slow. Business is very slow. You have to remember where you are going. Start small. Don't kill yourself over it. Then the greatest principle is perfection. You want everything to be perfect. It won't happen. You know, it will help you to procrastinate forever. You know, just start and perfect it later. Then keep records.
Products for hair and body care are predominant on the beauty market in sub-Saharan Africa, where face products and makeup remain marginal but have strong potential. Raliat wraps up with an infinitely positive outlook for her brand.
So Rally Rich actually is a global business. So it's just that it started here and it started in Nigeria, in Abuja. It's going to be all over the world. So till we get there, we're not stopping. We plan to be in the retail outlets in the world that the world has to offer. We will be there. If Fenty was looking at all the beauty products that were in the market, she never would have come out. She never would have done anything. And she came out, she still made billions. So please go there and push and pursue that thing that you want to do. It's valid because every day we give birth to new people. The world, we have not made enough products to take care of the whole world. So why limit yourself and say, oh, someone is already doing it, I can't do it? Who said?
"24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International. Your window to the world.
Fashion has been described as a form of self-expression and autonomy at a particular period and place and in specific contexts of clothing, footwear, lifestyle, accessories, makeup, hairstyle, and body posture. In its everyday use, it implies a look defined by the fashion industry as that which is trending. Nigeria is known to be one of the most fashionable countries in Africa, with over 250 ethnic groups. Each has something uniquely beautiful in its dressing style. Africa is a place of spectacular fashion practices in textiles, jewelry, hairstyles, or multiple combinations of all these. Today, Africa has an extremely rich and evolving fashion culture, leading to the emergence and the multiplication of African fashion weeks, top stylists and designers from the continent. West African prints have long been a multicultural and international trade item in the wider sense, with vibrant colors and patterns. African fashion is taking over the world by the storm because African fashion or designs have been able to distinguish its designs from that of every other continent. The enormous leverage on the impact of the social media is helping African fashion gain global recognition, thereby influencing inspired ideas into their work. That is why a lot of international celebrities are taking interest in African styles and prints. Though African continent has brought in new dimensions to have various prints, designs and styles, the Ankara prints, for instance, is a game changer. They have in no small way changed the face of African fashion, both locally and internationally. Over the years, the stereotype of reducing the wearing of African prints for many wedding ceremonies, planned church activities, funeral events, or child naming ceremony, among others, are no longer correct because they are now hugely popular and accepted. In the past, African clothing were worn more by the elders, and it was not so attractive or acceptable to the younger generation. This was because African prints were sewn in styles looking raw and not creative. Fast forward to the year 2000, dynamic and impressionable styles began to emerge in big A0 paper and hung in shops of tailors and seamstresses. You could look through the styles and choose what you want. Then came the emergence of young tailors and designers. Then the policy of wearing traditional dresses on Fridays by the federal government of Nigeria. This policy impacted positively in the boom experienced in the promotion of African prints and the various designs and styles that comes with them. Indeed, the African fashion has come to stay.
Some call it amebo, others call it gossip, but we here call it gist. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Gist Zone. I am Aisha Megarikana, and of course I'm here with...
You have to learn how to call my title because I can't just be calling this.
No, you have to give me a title first.
No.
Then
you should.
We'll be calling the titles.
All right, my name is the Eselusien Wego One. Ona Nyokoko Nyonyo. That's one. That one is important.
Okay.
All right, it's the IGW even though you can spell, and it's time for Gist Zone.
Well, you know how we do it here. This is where we get to dish out all the steamy, hot, juicy, trending gossip from our social media platforms,
our neighborhoods, and all around.
And of course, we're not here alone. We're here with our friends. But before we meet them, let's quickly take a look at the highlights. Do men say I love you to their fellow male friends? Can you call your ex to ask for financial assistance as a guy? What are some of the crazy things men do for love? Quite interesting topics we have today. Today's episode
It's gonna be
promised
awesome.
to be an
Awesome.
exciting one because, like, we're talking about the bro codes. And I think maybe I need to change to trousers.
No, you don't need to take the trousers because we guys, we are okay the way we are.
Okay.
We don't want.
All right. I don't want you to feel like intimidated by my presence. Well, I guess that here already we have a new customer, a new face on Gist Zone, Emmanuel John. Emma, welcome on Gist Zone.
But I wanted to ask Emma a question.
Okay.
Why is he answering Emmanuel John? I want to know his native name. Emma, what state are you from?
I'm a Nigerian.
Thank you very much.
Okay. He got us there. And then we have Ahmed Micheliza.
Yes.
Hey, the farmer of our time.
Thank you.
After here, we'll just go straight to his farm and start
Thank you.
mangoes.
It's almost time.
Okay.
Well, I know you guys are really eager to gossip about all this.
You don't have anybody to
Let's
do it
get to
about
our
you.
first topic for today. Do men say I love you to their fellow male friends? Wow, this is so interesting. You know, I know, like, for
I need to remove my glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know for us ladies, like, we like calling each other with like pet names, and it doesn't mean anything. Like, we'll be like, oh, sweetheart, oh, darling, oh, please, you know. How about you guys? Let's hear from
Obviously not. Obviously not.
The truth is, women are soft, are the softer version. You know, it's normal for a woman to say, oh, to her fellow woman, oh, sweetie, how are you, love? You know, but it sounds awkward. It sounds not too pleasant to the ears when a guy tells his fellow guy after conversation, say, I love you.
It's something else entirely.
The slap might be deadly.
No, you can just say, I love you, man.
No, you can't. You can't.
You
can't say it.
Like,
why?
Do you
Okay, why?
understand something about this flow? A guy, it's just something of, if a guy could, you understand, is unspoken understanding. You can't just...
You're right, yeah.
Like, if I don't need to tell a guy I love you.
Yes, you don't need to say
You
it.
understand? I don't need it.
Why?
You don't need to say
That
it's
was-
no.
that was
You don't have to
what
say
I'm
it.
No, I don't believe
No,
you.
Aisha, the truth is, there are ways a guy can make his fellow guy knows that. Now this is it. A girl comes and sees his fellow girl. They will hug. No, we don't do that. Why
We have our
will
own
you hug
time.
me as a guy? For what? Why?
We have our own time.
Yeah. So if you shake me, hey, what's up, bro? You shake me, then we go on shoulders. You know that's manly. That's guily. But
Exactly. That's even the law. That's the law for men. That's the law. It's not just, you can't go around holding.
The only
It's
way I
unwritten.
think
That's
a
the
guy,
thing.
the only way
Every
I
guy
think a
knows
guy
it.
can say I love you to a guy is this fatherly to son love.
Yes.
You understand? Like,
Do
if a father
actually,
can tell
okay,
his son I love you.
do
if
fathers actually say that to their kids? Because,
Actually,
like,
yeah, some
most
do.
fathers,
I've never-
especially in
Nigerian
Africa
father.
or Nigeria,
No.
you hardly hear a
Some
dad
fathers
say,
do
I love
actually.
you. Like,
the
you know,
truth
Maybe modern dads.
the truth is
Maybe we might say to our kids.
yeah. When a dad feels when he starts telling his son, I love you, son. It feels like he's trying to make that boy a vegetable. So
what is vegetable?
vegetable now, like
soft.
soft. Your father tries to do stuff that will make you man up.
So
Exactly. And
Like,
the man,
sometimes
you know.
when you do something right, that the man will be like, oh, nice one, man. That's why I love you, son. You'll be like, nice one. I think say you for film now. You
So,
know?
yeah, and you know what he means.
Yeah, you know what
and
he
you know
means.
what he means. Also.
You know what
But
he
I
means.
feel like parents not doing that to their children, like, it kind of affects them into being like the way we talked about some time ago. Like, we talked about how we tell the male kids to be like manly and the female kids to just be soft. Like,
It's
as
not
if
we,
just-
it's how the creation. It's how it has been
It's
from
nature.
the onset.
Yeah.
It's nature.
Like,
You know,
something
would you
cannot
like your
talk
brother?
about.
Would you like your brother to come out and be there? Oh, sir.
No, actually, I like my brother. There was a time he used to wear our cover shoes. Like,
No, yeah, when he was like
would
this.
like, you understand, when he was growing up. No, like around that kind 9-10 years.
Ah,
So he used to wear covered shoes,
You
like
need to start
our own
correcting him
shoes,
then.
high heel, and with a veil, he would just come out and be walking. Like, you understand?
That's
To
just
him,
innocent fun.
It was just not like it was not
It was just fun.
He's
something
having fun.
bad. But like these days, you find kids doing that. You'll be like,
They take it. These days, we need to correct them before because
things get out of hand.
Yeah, things have gone wrong. Like
Well, he's
we are too civilized. Like the eye is too open now. You see a little boy, like a girl of maybe 3-4 years, the way she would like spit out word, like you'll be
you'll be
wow.
shocked. The
this is a girl or
truth
something.
is, catch them young. This jet age and internet era, we need to be
you're
very,
right.
very careful. Like I saw a makeup artist making up her 4-year-old child. I had to send her a DM. I said, stop using this boy's face to promote your product. Use your own face.
Oh, it's a boy.
Now, this boy gets used to, he makes the boy up, she makes the boy up, and then the boy looks like a woman. Now, this boy gets to see these things, and before you know it, he starts behaving like a girl.
Yeah, he
and
thinks it's normal for a
somewhere
guy.
will come and tell me it is science. What the
well,
heck is science?
let's not deviate from.
Yes,
the
let's not
main
deviate.
thing.
But then,
So, like now, Ahmed can just say, "I love you, Igwe." Oh, I love you.
No.
Yeah,
No.
So it's
That's
not okay.
normal.
But if he
But
comes
the truth
to say,
is
"I
not
love
normal.
Aisha," then that's okay.
Let me tell you,
Yes, of course.
Let me tell you the truth. Guys have the real love amongst humans.
So how do we?
Wait, let me
get
explain
real
to
love?
you. A woman will see her fellow girl and be like, "Ah!" They will shout. They will hug each other. "I love you, I love you." Immediately the girl turns her back. You just hear nonsense.
That's it.
She's ugly. She doesn't smell nice.
That's so
I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. But you see a guy, hey, what's up? Yo, finish
far
God.
is it
No
go?
offense to your
That's
big
it.
head. You know, they hear what? You know, they just shake. And then true love. Oh
So
my
in
God.
other words, you're trying to say
We show the
guys
real love.
are more real than
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
was-
unspoken, but we understand.
We have to bring ladies on this show to talk about that part as well. Well, we need to move on to our next story.
Yes, we need to move on to our next story. Our next story on Gist is, can you call your ex to ask for financial assistance as a guy? As Igwe, no.
100% no. Whether X, Y, or Z, no.
Like you know, this thing.
Please tell
Like
me you can.
No.
it's just like, how will I explain this? It's not possible. You said, well, your ex, like there's nothing.
No, like you
attaching guys
understand,
again.
being
You
like
understand?
close to
What close?
being close, like
No.
her being your ex, like
Okay.
you must have gotten like to a very certain, very comfortable level in the relationship, whereby you can ask anything and nothing. But like
Maybe the only way that thing can suit in is maybe after the relationship, you guys find yourself in the
As
same
friends.
organization, maybe business or something. Like you
Still.
guys
Even at that,
this
it's
was
not,
around
it's not
like
allowed.
another topic that can you still be friends with your ex? Like if you're still friends with your ex, I believe you can just
Okay, let me tell you
for that.
something, Aisha.
It's
I mean, you know, it's easier. It's easier for it to be said than done.
Yes.
Now, most ladies find it very difficult to let go. That's why when most ladies break up with you, some will just make you their enemies. Especially when they see you with a girl that's more beautiful than them. You are just their biggest nightmare, you know. So now, a girl seeing you as an enemy, you going now to say, man, I did broke, I need like 10K, I'll pay you
It
back
can't
later.
happen. It can't happen. Impossible.
You will just make yourself a
Why
graven
are you
image.
saying it can't happen? What are
The
your
first thing
reasons?
is like it's already like the terms and conditions dictate you can't go back and be doing that. It's already, what do you call it? You already broke up most likely on
Yes.
bad terms.
Yeah, on the bad
Horrible
terms.
terms. And then you're going back to ask for what you be like,
No.
finally,
Let me
this
tell you
guy.
something. Breakup like doesn't necessarily means like it has to be bad.
How many African breakup
Yeah.
that comes
You
with
understand,
this
like,
thing?
good, like-
Sometimes
You
when
can
With
still be
understanding.
friends with your ex.
Yeah, you
Like,
can.
So I think
But to
like
a
if you
certain
have
degree,
like a
you can't.
certain
let me
level
tell you,
of
Aisha, you are getting
understanding.
these things wrong.
Okay.
Nah, money can't
Most
come between.
of us, I don't know abroad, most of us in
Money can't
Africa,
come between.
the highest we do is to be in talking terms,
Yes.
not
That's it.
friends.
Once in a while.
All right.
It is different.
Okay, how about let me rephrase this.
Once in a while.
How about can you ask for financial assistance from your girlfriend?
How would the girl look at you? First, you should go and gossip with her friends. You see that Igwe.
No, she may
Look at that
be.
Igwe. Look at that Igwe. With all his packages, coming to beg me money.
Unless
No.
you're married.
Well, I think this
This one with me. Except you are married.
This is an
That's
interesting
it.
topic.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're united.
It's, I think, one of this ego in men that makes them.
No, but that's why we are men. It looks up, even while in the relationship, it is always very difficult to get to ask your girlfriend to borrow you money. Like me.
Exactly. Society has made it the guy is always
I prefer to call my friends. I prefer to call my friends, male friends, be like, bros, what's up, man? Help me do this thing. Than to tell my girlfriend. Because the truth is, women take advantage easily. I don't know why. You know, you might.
No, I think it's right from birth. Like we're told that.
All women.
Wait.
There are some very lovely women.
There's some understanding in some individual, like depend on the both parts. You understand?
Okay.
If they are really this relationship, there's this love of everything is kind of real. You understand? There are some people that are deep inside it. So I think in a situation like that, the boyfriend, if he's not like able to have access to phone at that period, and the girl
can ask the girl.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
We're not saying
this
it's
topic, I
impossible.
think if we'll have to bring the ladies also to hear their own opinion.
They will disgrace you.
I trust my girls. Well, moving on to our next topic. What are some of the crazy things men do for love? Well, very common with ladies. I know, like a lot of ladies do.
It's common with everybody.
No. Guys try to hide, like even if they love someone, they try to hide it. You know.
Who said?
I don't know.
Nala, I don't think about my ex-girlfriend when we did school. Then I forget my Ghana must go of food for inside bus where they go up and.
Because of
I was just excited. I'm going to school to meet, to see her and all that.
There are many crazy things. Like even you falling in love with her is a crazy thing.
Oh,
you
what
understand?
makes it crazy?
Because man, if this love is blind, man, it's kind of correct.
True.
Do you understand?
Tell me, because like mostly we are used
correct.
to, like especially most ladies feel like, guys hardly show, they kind of like, feeling as
The
if
truth is,
they love you. She will be picking
says-
this dandelion flower, like he loves me not. He loves me.
Then he probably doesn't.
Yeah,
If she doesn't realize it, then he probably doesn't.
So
Let me tell you what guys do. We try to be careful. You show a woman too much love and affection, she starts, misbehaving and taking advantage. So you try to balance. You show it and then you calm down a bit. Because when it becomes too much, you see some girls say, oh, no, I don't like guys choking me. I don't like this. I don't like... No.
Yeah,
So
it's too much.
You just always try to be a man in a relationship.
But what are the crazy, like, what story have you had, like, of a crazy thing a guy did for love?
A guy did for love.
Yeah,
No. If it is crazy things guys do for love, I think guys do the craziest things for love.
Like,
now, how many times have you sat down to hear a woman buying a car for his boyfriend, for her boyfriend, to say probably happy birthday, but it's a normal routine. Like if we are proposing, we buy you a car. If we are proposing, we buy you a house.
To me, there are a lot of crazy things which even you can't really say this. You understand? Like it's kind of a mystery of something. This love of a thing is something you cannot explain. Yes, because even God is love, so you see, God is a mystery. That's love. You can do so many crazy things that you can't talk about.
So Ahmed, what about you?
No, Ahmed has done a lot of crazy. I'm even scared if Ahmed has not given one of our hectares of land.
No, that part is safe.
That one. The truth is, a lot of guys have done a lot. I've been in situation where my friend, they stole the girlfriend's phone, and then he just got an iPhone, and then when he was giving the girl the iPhone, I saw the pain. The pain. Baby. And the guy was when he started using touchlight phone, the pain he kept complaining. If we stay together, I say, "Kai, oh my iPhone."
That's sacrifice.
That's sacrifice. That's what I'm saying. There are many things.
Do it for the boyfriend.
So in other words, you're saying like the crazy things that guys do for love is mostly sacrifices. Like
No,
you
yeah,
sacrifice
you make a whole lot of
thing.
sacrifice.
Well, that's
And a
one-
guy cannot watch you talk to his girlfriend, and be her girlfriend, the girlfriend anyhow.
At all.
You know, in the public. A guy, but a girl can watch it and be like, go and fight now. You know, but we guys, we can't tolerate.
You
I
have
can't
to
tolerate
do
any guy talk to my girlfriend.
There was this meme I saw online. The girlfriend came into the car. The guy was in the car, and then she came into the car, and then she was like, "Babe, somebody just insulted me. He called me this. He called me that. He called me what?" He was like, "What? You're my girlfriend." Boom. He went out, and then when he came back and sat. She was like, "Babe." He was like, "Is it that guy with
uniform?"
Yeah. He was like, "Babe, I think you did not hear correctly. I think he was just talking to
He
someone."
was not even talking, please. You're talking to somebody else. No,
Put us in trouble a lot.
Yeah, the guy is in trouble.
Okay.
A guy lost his left eye because of the girlfriend. See? Before you know it,
See?
they don't come on your eye. And last, the girl didn't marry him.
That's the thing.
So you see the sacrifices.
No, like it's not all relationships that must lead to marriage.
The only sacrifices you guys make is emotional sacrifice, and we are done. We're tired of your emotional sacrifice.
Before something happens and I go out
that's
to
the only
meet the
thing.
guy.
That's the only sacrifice. And they always come out to say men are scum. That's it.
No,
men are scum.
like it's not everybody.
That's the national anthem. Men are scum. All men are the same. Don't test all men to know if they're the same.
I do food.
No, like okay, you can test a car, so it's.
Oh, you want to test all men?
No, I'm not saying that. Why would you say that?
No, I wonder why women will say all men are the same. All men are the same. When you all men,
all the time generalizing.
All men are the same.
People are different.
The same thing applies with the guys. They also say all girls are.
No, I have never used that word.
That's you.
I have never used that word.
That's
the good heart.
A secret microphone recorder to find out. Well, as much as this guy like gossiping,
we like to gist.
In today's episode is Guys Corner, Gossip Corner. Well, and me, I love to gist. I think that's the much we can take on today's episode of Gist Zone. Thank you very much, Emmanuel John.
Yeah, thank you.
Without his traditional name.
It's really scary why he's answering these two names, Emmanuel John.
Like actually, this is not the first time.
If you have a job, you're
like
supposed to be having names like that long.
Different places. People do ask me. I'm just used to.
Thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thank you.
Ahmed Mishaliza.
Always a pleasure.
Young farmer when they happy anytime where I see because there will be oranges in quantum.
Soon. Very, very soon.
Well, join us same time, same station next week for another exciting episode of Gist Zone. I am Aisha Maigarikana.
And I still remain the SLUCNO go one. "24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International. Your window to the world.
Literature, is traditionally said to be applied to those imaginative works of poetry and prose, distinguished by the intentions of their authors and the perceived aesthetic excellence of their execution. In other words, an author tries to express his thoughts, his mind, his environment, and his feelings as the ideas races up in his mind. The world is full of beautiful literary works, and a lot of these works has helped in one way or the other to shape our lives, our thought, and our society. Afolabi Mayowa is a Nigerian writer and life coach with several literary works to his credit. An engineer by profession, one will wonder how he veered into the world of literature.
Writing is a passion for me. It's a gift for me. It's a calling. Now, I call it a calling. I've discovered that over the years ago, writing it's fun for me. I get inspirations on the normal day. I'm also a poet. I have a combination of poems I've written, very highly inspiring poems. I minister and speak in poems. So writing is my hobby. It's my duty. It's me. I love writing. I love communicating in writing.
For Mayowa Afolabi, writing is passion from which he finds fulfillment. Recently, he unveiled his latest work, A Gift to My Son. It is worthy of note that he has another book to his credit, A Gift to My Daughter, which he wrote 4 years ago. He spoke with Lens on Africa on his choice of title, whether he was trying to be gender sensitive by balancing the title of his books.
I'm a man who believes in God. I had the revelation and the name was given to me. It's exactly the way it is, a gift to my daughter. You understand? No, it's just like the subtitle of the books is a compendium of inspirations and vital life instructions. And it was written from the standpoint of a father, of a mother, of a coach to young people. So the title, A Gift to My Daughter or A Gift to My Son, is just like a parent's gift. You understand? There are gifts that are more than money. Now, if a child is not well tutored, if you give him money, he will squander the money. So I consider this as a lifelong, more impactful gift. So that is capturing a gift to my daughter because it's supposed to serve as a guide, as a shining light, guiding these young ones through life and destiny, even when the parents or the coach are not there. But the instructions are full in the book.
A Gift to My Son is a non-fictional work which portrays the everyday needs for the young boys and grown-up men concerning how to live their lives and be fulfilled. He says his passion is to help raise a young generation who can excel in all of their endeavors in life. Not only that, he desires that these young ones will be focused in life and live a life of piety. He says he didn't write the book for nothing, but as a young boy while growing up, he faced certain challenges in life, which serve as his reasons for writing A Gift to My Son.
While growing up, we discovered that our parents were good. They tried in our generation. But there were some gaps in parenting. There were some things, parents are supposed to be like mentors to their children. So now, there are some oceans of life that we dive through all alone. And as in when our parents, maybe they were not too knowledgeable enough to guide us through it. But when I was going through those things, those years, I'm talking as far back as about 20 years ago now, I told myself that one day I'm going to put together a package that will be like a guide, a life guide for young people, both male and female, so that they do not fall into some pitfalls that some of us fell into when we're growing up as both teenagers and as young adults. So that's one of the motivations that drove me to make sure that the books also go around the world and impact and serve like a guiding light to young men and young women in this dispensation.
A Gift to My Son is a must-read because it exposes young boys and men to certain experiences and vices to avoid in life. It contains catalysts that can help drive young men to maturity, kind of friends to have and avoid, and how to run away from unnecessary peer pressure. The 117-page book is something to look out for, as it will benefit young men and matured ones. Mayowa Afolabi is blessed with a beautiful wife and 4 lovely kids.
vast and geographically varied continent, Africa is home to a great many cultures and to 1,000 of languages. Although no single set of myths and legends unites this diverse population, different culture groups and regions share some common elements. Myths from other parts of the world and those of African people reflect beliefs and values. But while the mythologies of many cultures are carefully preserved relics of ancient times, African myths and legends are still a meaningful part of their everyday life. Some African myths deal with the universal themes such as the origin of the world and the fate of the individual after death. Yet, many spring from the continent's settings, conditions, and history. The people of Africa did not use written language until modern times. Instead, they possessed rich and complex oral traditions, passing myth, legends, and history from generation to generation in spoken form. In some cultures, professional storytellers called griots preserved the oral tradition.
Or the storyteller at that time of pre-literate society was when one uncle or one auntie sat down at twilight or under the moonlight to entertain, educate, inform, or enlighten society, made up of the young, old, and even the children, as it were. But essentially, I think they had a way of making children come out at that time because of the impact it had on children, because they were mainly or the major target at that time. So like I said, it was storytelling that has not been affected by civilization, modernization, and then what they call technological invasion. So it was a time where things were handed over by word of mouth from generation to generation.
The written accounts of African mythology began to appear in the early 1800s, and present-day literary writers labor to record the continent's myth and legend to ensure their safety from cultural change. There are clear interactions between the deeply rooted oral tradition and the developing literary tradition of the 20th century. The interaction is revealed in the placing of literary works into the forms of the oral tradition.
Hello and welcome to News Hour here on NTA International. I am Claire Adilabu Abdul Razak. Let's begin with the United States. And the U.S. government is pledged to partner Nigeria on her energy transition plan. The World Bank and international institutions are also making similar pledge. Now, this was when some members of the Nigeria's Energy Transition Implementation Working Group, led by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, visited the United States on a 3-day advocacy trip, and the aim is to promote the energy transition plan designed to achieve global net zero emissions target by 2060. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo had a brief meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House just before leaving Washington, D.C. And Russia's gas pipeline to Germany will not reopen as planned this Saturday. Now, the state energy firm Gazprom says it has found an oil leak in a turbine on the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, meaning it will be closed indefinitely. The pipeline has been shut down for the past 3 days for what Gazprom described as maintenance work. The news comes amid growing fears that families in the EU will not be able to afford the cost of heating this winter. Energy prices have soared since Russia invaded Ukraine, and scarce supplies could push up the cost even further. And Muscovites lined up near the Kremlin on Saturday to pay their last respects to Mikhail Gorbachev, the former Soviet leader who was widely admired in the West for his reforms and who lived long enough to see Russia's leadership roll back much of that change. Gorbachev, who died on Tuesday, aged 91, was said to be buried without state honors or President Vladimir Putin in attendance. He was, however, granted public send-off, with authorities allowing Russians to view his coffin in the imposing hall of columns within sight of the Kremlin, where previous Soviet leaders have been mourned. Gorbachev took part in 1985, introducing bold reforms and opening the USSR to the world. And back home, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, is advocating need for the federal government to investigate the leadership of ASUU with the aim of unraveling the motivation for their insistence on collapsing the public university system in Nigeria. The advocacy is contained in a statement issued by NANS President Adedayo Sunday Ashafon, who describes the event of recent weeks as a pointer that ASUU has an ulterior motive, which is to collapse the university education system in the country. He berates the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASUU, for extending its strike indefinitely. And those are the stories we are following up on the hour. Thanks for watching. I am Claire Adilabu Abdul Razak. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome to Issues of the Moment. Children have a right to good standard of living, equal opportunities and support when needed. Still, too many children live at the risk of poverty and social exclusion, struggle with access to medical services, and lack of basic education. The rights outlined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1984 has been reinforced, recognized as a global priority and incorporated into developmental agendas over the past decades. Developed nations have made tremendous progressive commitments towards achieving high rates in child education. However, the reality in most developing nations, including Nigeria, seems to be far-fetched. In this week's edition of Issues of the Moment, we will be looking at the topic, child education amidst social and economic challenges in the North. And you meet my guest in a moment. My name is Justin Bemunye, and I welcome you to the program. Once again, I thank you so much for joining us on the program Issues of the Moment. Today, we're looking at child education amidst social and economic challenges in the North. And my guest is an agri-economist and the first female professor in Zuru Emirates, Professor Abigail Jirgi. Professor, I thank you so much for joining us on the program Issues of the Moment. I thank you for finding our time to come on the program today.
Thank you for having me, sir.
You're welcome.
Good evening, viewers.
Yes. We want to talk about child education amidst social and economic challenges in the North. But before we go to the North proper, let's have a general overview, your description of educational development in Nigeria over these years.
Thank you. Yes, the education is the bedrock of every nation worldwide that is established. And the rate of development of a country determines its development and growth. And looking at the Nigerian educational development, we are talking of on the environment. When we talk of development, we look at educational development from, I want to look at it from two perspectives.
Okay.
One is the curriculum and the learning environment. And the other aspect that I want to look at is the infrastructure, the enrollment, and the outcomes that students receive from learning. Now, you know, we were operating a system, the 6334 system, which was revised in 2004, which is now 934 system, which means that students are supposed to have 9 years of basic education. And this is the objective of the national education policy in order to reduce the rate of dropouts of school children, in order to ensure that technically within the 9 years that students are able to develop their skills. And with the redesign of curriculum to include trade subjects, this has helped to shape the lives of students. Yes. And looking at the infrastructure, of course, we know that we have more private schools. That means that there is more engagement of the private sector in the educational sector, which is a good development. There is more use of technology, especially in schools that are in urban areas. However, it is not so with the schools in rural areas. We have made some progress, even in terms of enrollment in school, but we still have a long way to go as a country, because we need to improve on school infrastructure. If you travel around the country, you will see structures of schools that are dilapidated, and you really feel, you know, this is not supposed to be like this. So there is need for government and the private sector to engage in massive infrastructure for schools. Even though the TED Fund, the UBEC, they are trying. If you travel again, you see public schools being renovated or some classes being built. And of course, you always see the logo of the UBE and UBEC and the TED Fund, which means that the government is trying, but I believe we can do more.
From what I understand from what you said, you have pointed out rightly that there has been a great reform and restructuring when it comes to curriculum of the education sector.
Yes.
Meanwhile, when it comes to, on the flip side, when it comes to infrastructure development, it is not too, the story is not too, it's not too good.
Yes.
What, in your own opinion, how can this move together? How, when it comes to development generally for the country, how can the country fare better?
Like in some countries, the budget for education is given an upper hand, simply because of the reason I mentioned in my opening statement. The educational sector is not a sector that the government should joke with. So if there is increase in budget for education, then there is proper monitoring and evaluation of projects that are targeted at building infrastructures in schools, then we can move forward.
The situation in the north seems or may seem different, you know. Can you take us through the process in the north? How has it been? Is it the same? Is it not moving at the same pace of development with other parts of the country when it comes to what you just mentioned? We're talking about the curriculum, talking about infrastructure, amidst some factors that you may want to talk about.
Yes. Education in northern Nigeria has been deterred by so many factors. In the past, it was all about cultural factors that parents held on to, and they wouldn't want to enroll their children in school. But in recent times, I think we are gradually overcoming that problem with sensitization, and then it is evident that education is just the key to development. And so many parents are aware of that, and people who are enlightened, of course, will not stop preaching to the other people around them about the importance of education. And so there is this, like I said, intervention of the UBEC and the TED Fund. Of course, it is all over the country. I don't think if they normally will segregate between the North and the South. But the issue is that we still have the problems of enrollment, especially when it comes to the girl child. And of course, we know that the government has tried in several ways to invest in the both boys and girl child education in the North, talking about the out-of-school children, trying to get schools where even if you drop out, you can go back. And then, of course, now with the issues of insurgency, it has worsened the situation. Advocacy groups have been sensitizing people in the North on the need to educate the girl child. Of course, these days, the echo is educating a girl child is equivalent to educating a nation because of, you know, the importance of education. If a woman is educated, she's able to pass down to her children. So largely, people are being aware of the importance of education, and that is why the girl child enrollment in school has increased in the North.
The current way we are, you know, educating children now, do you think, you know, it fully prepares them for the 21st century? And what may be the role of teachers when it comes to demand in the labor market?
We are on track. Now, the curriculum is designed in such a way that these days that you have trade subjects being introduced such that the students are able to learn some vocational aspects in their learning process as they progress. And then in the tertiary institutions, they have introduced entrepreneurship as a course at 200 level and 500 level, depending on the university and how they structure their courses. And that I believe, will improve on, preparing students for the labor market.
Okay. As a follow-up to that question, there have been calls from different quarters about encouraging the young ones to take up or to tour the path of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, oriented subjects. Is there any way that the system has been designed to encourage these children in that path?
Yes. In the past, there is this issue of stereotyping when you say that the girl child cannot study engineering, she cannot do sciences, she can only study English, or she can only study secretarial studies or business administration. But in the recent times, we have seen girls having interest in science and engineering courses. Of course, such courses, the brain does not have gender. We have only one brain. A man and a woman, girl or boy, we have the same brain. So whatever a boy child can do, a girl child can also do. So even in terms of admitting students into the universities, there is the issue of considering the educationally less privileged states. And then there is also the issues of gender. You tend to encourage the female students into particular professions.
Well, you are an expert in the education sector, and I believe environment has a great deal to play. It's a factor that has a great deal to play when it comes to effective learning. What do you feel an exciting or an effective learning environment should be compared to what we have now in the country?
Yes, an effective learning environment comprises of both the physical and the social environment. Now, the physical environment, I don't want to generalize, because the condition in the urban centers is quite different from the rural areas, and it is not supposed to be so. Now, in the urban centers, you have schools, private schools, and even some public schools that have good learning environment, conducive learning environment. When you talk about the classes, the number of students in the classes, the desks, the table, the atmosphere that encourages learning are present, mostly in schools that are in urban areas. But in the rural areas, don't be surprised that some students don't even have tables and chairs to sit on. And sometimes you pass and you see dilapidated buildings, the roof falling off, and several other issues. So, in terms of the conducive environment, I will say that it's mostly common in urban areas and is lacking in the rural areas. And so the government and private individuals, private sectors should do more on investing on infrastructure, especially in the rural areas, in the educational sector. In the rural areas, you never can tell. There are potential, great men and women that if you give them the privilege and the opportunities that you give to the children in urban areas, they will do better. They will do better. So the government should look into that. And in terms of the social environment, learning is not just about the cognitive learning part of education. It also involves developing and shaping the child morally, physically, making the child to understand the world and how it works, and then developing communication skills. And so it is important that the student, the teachers, the administrative staff of the school are well equipped and then work together and ensure that the child has that environment where he feels safe and secured.
Okay.
So
I believe, from what you said, I believe there are economic implications, you know, of not educating the child.
Yeah, sure.
Now, with that in mind, what do you think government should be doing? What is government role to improve education, in your own opinion?
Like you mentioned, education, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So educating a child is as good as providing life for that child, because you are preparing him for the future, what he becomes. Now, there is need for the government to continue to provide enabling environment for learning. There is need for provision of finance. If it is possible to increase the national budget for educational sector, it will be very good. I want to commend the government on the school feeding program. It is a good one, and then I believe that it has encouraged many parents to enroll their children in school. For those who could not even afford to eat 3 square meals in a day, at least their children eat in the schools. Then we also need to encourage collaboration with the private sector in the educational sector. Of course, I have mentioned that the funding to improve infrastructure both in the urban areas and the rural areas is very key. Of course, there should be the framework of monitoring and evaluation of all the projects that the government is putting in place to ensure that there is improvement in the structures of our schools nationwide. Of course, I also want to mention here that the Safe School initiative of the federal government is also a very welcome idea, and I hope that they will be able to implement it so that we can avoid students going to school and then schools are being closed every now and then, which, you know, makes them to lose track of the learning process.
Yes, talking about that, just a final one here, the prolonged school closures, you know, talking particularly about the ASUU strikes and all that, you know, no doubt it has a negative impact on the skills of children, and this has also affected them in terms of employment and job opportunities. What do you think, in your own opinion, Prof, that should be done to address this recurring decimal?
The ASUU strike is rather an unfortunate thing that has happened to this country, and it has been reoccurring over years. Now, nobody is happy with the ASUU strike. The government, the students, the parents, the ASUU members are not happy that the schools have been closed for the past 6 months. Although the government, the negotiations are still on, and we are hoping that we will see positive results so that students will go back to school. But to get a sustainable solution to this incessant strike, there is need for government, ASUU, and other stakeholders to sit down, have a roundtable discussion, and come up with sustainable solutions to end this strike. We can borrow a leaf from other countries. Why are other universities in other countries not going on strike constantly? So we can borrow a leaf from those countries. What are they doing that is right that we are not doing as a country?
Well, at this point, I thank you so much, Professor Abigail Chirki. I thank you so much for, sparing your time to share your thoughts with us on this issue of education in Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is issues of the moment, and child education amidst social and economic challenges in the North has been our focus of discussion today. My guest has been an agri-economist and the first female professor in Zuru Emirates, Professor Abigail Jirgi. This is where the program ends. I thank you so much for watching. My name is Justin Bemwing, and I say bye for now.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. And to watch NTA International in the USA, Canada, and Mexico, use the following satellite parameters. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Hello, this is Our Voices, and I'm Oriani Tangishaka. It is so good to be back in studios since the COVID-19 lockdowns in 2019. I am happy, of course, to be joined by my co-hosts Siminyeshi Okoye and Amina Alihu. Ladies, how are you? How do you feel about being back in the building since 2019? 2 years.
Hello, my name is Siminyeshi Okoye, and I am so excited to be back here in this beautiful studio with my colleagues. It's it's very nice.
That's good.
Hello, I'm Amina Aliyu. I must say I'm very happy to be here with friends, but I really don't miss the commute.
I like that you said friends. We missed you too.
Of course, working from home has its own comfort and flexibility, you know, not
definitely
worrying about what you wear. And as you said, the commute. But I think at the same time, being with your team, it brings out some sort of creativity.
And
don't
being
you think?
able to load the laundry while you're in a meeting.
That's true.
That's true. I was the lunch lady while I was trying to record a piece. So it was really nice to be at home, but it's also very tough when you have to juggle everything, especially if you have little kids. So I'm happy to be out of that environment.
It's hard to bring the work and life balance sometimes.
That's right. So as you know, ladies, today we're talking about friendship. It's a concept that often seems natural and effortless to build and maintain. However, it doesn't always happen that way. Based on individual experiences and experts' analysis, some friendships are only for a season, while others are for a lifetime. Nevertheless, either one of these such friendships can be healthy and should be nurtured, while others are toxic and should be dissolved earlier rather than later. So on this week's episode, we discuss the concept of friendship in different cultural contexts. We hear experts' analysis on the types of friends one should have in order for one to be healthy mentally and emotionally. We'll also hear personal testimonies about friendship experiences. Now, ladies, friendship is a very broad topic, but we're going to try to dissect it. Are you the friend that you wish you had?
Honestly, it depends on the context. If you want a friend that helps with housework, no, I am not that friend.
You're not going to cook for me after having a baby?
Honestly, I'm just going to be honest with you, Arya. When I was younger, I would call my friend. Does your mom expect us to like wake up in the morning and have? Yes, that's what we do in a house. I'm like, okay, my mom says I can't come to you.
I'm not coming.
But in the context of giving you emotional support, when you need someone to go shopping with you, someone to drop you off at the airport and pick up the children, but not take care of them. Yes, then I'm that friend.
Sounds good.
I think I am a friend I wish to have because I feel like I'm a social person. I like having people around, cook them for them, and being there for them during bad or good times. So I think I wish I have that kind of friend. But if you don't like dancing, I am not someone you want to hang out
I
with.
think I'm a little bit of everything. I'll be your friend. I'll be your comforter. I'll be your everything. I'm not a people pleaser, but I'll make sure I let you have it when it's time to let you have it. If you're messing up or if you're not if you're not doing your best at certain things. So I like to think myself as a person who you can count on when it's any situation, I think. So I'm versatile, I think.
But I think that's what friendship is, right? Being there for each other, whether you are passionate about something or not, sharing things together and creating that.
But I want to include friendship also includes not judging. So if you don't want to babysit, you should not be judged.
I agree.
The quality of your friendship,
I agree,
shouldn't be judged based on not wanting to babysit.
I will not call you to babysit.
Let me throw a question there. What do you think can ruin a female friendship?
Money.
Men.
Men for sure. Don't take my men. Don't look at my men.
I make a point not to befriend women that are attracted to the same type of man as me.
Oh, good one. That's true, because I did have a girl who I told things about the guy that I like. This was high school. And she ended up like dating him. I'm like, girl.
Exactly.
That's true.
So make sure that when you're scouting for friends, you have a discussion, you show them pictures. So are you into a Chadwick Boseman or are you into someone else? Then you can get a good gauge. And then you're like, okay, so we're not going to be good friends with this one.
Yeah. I mean, there are also other issues like dishonesty, losing trust and all that we will discuss later in our show.
What kind of friend you wouldn't want to be around, or what kind of character of a friend you wouldn't want to be around? Because I don't want to be around a treacherous girl, like the one that's like smiling at you, happy with you, but backstabbing you, lying about you and all those things, because it's just not my cup
for
of
me,
tea.
the one that is very secretive, the one that's always in your life, want to know about you, but doesn't want to share anything about themselves. That really hurts me and it gives me discomfort.
And it also, like, you're unable to fully trust that person, right?
Exactly.
For me, it's the nagging friend, the one who's always complaining, I don't like my job, my husband did this to me, oh my God. I can't, because it's so draining. When you want to sincerely give someone emotional support, when you listen to their problem, you want to think about it before you give them advice. You don't want to give them advice based on just emotion, right? But if you're constantly having to deal with that, it can be really draining on yourself and your own mental health as well.
That's true, because that type of friend is always wanting to take take. And they don't
Exactly.
realize how much time and effort it takes to babysit them all the time.
Exactly.
That's so true.
So draining.
But yeah, that's true.
Now, let's hear what ladies from Kinshasa have to say about this topic. Our colleague Anastasie Tudiaji talked to some of them. Take a listen.
Female friendship, a unique blend of sisterhood and mentorship. We all have given or received that pep talk just when needed. Camaraderie, selflessness, honesty, sometimes brutally, when brutally needed, let's face it, but also absolute sweetness and giggles and support. We all can add to the list. Now, how do we form that special bond? How do we choose our female friends? Do we even choose them? What makes a female friend a female friend? Let's ask women in the streets of Kinshasa. Bonjour.
Hello. Excuse me, are you friends?
We were colleagues, and then we got to know each other. And the fact that she was honest with me, we realized that we had a lot in common since our youth, childhood. Furthermore, we almost have the same ambitions.
She told me, Mary Rose, we have to do like men. We have to support each other. Let's pull ourselves up. And I was in a difficult moment of my life.
Long live the friendship between women.
Yes, women can do it. That's how we are going to get a female head of state one day. This can only happen if women are supportive of each other.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Hello, miss.
Do
you have any best friends?
Yes, her name is Chris Mamuzinga. I'm friends with her and it's been 14 years already. I went through difficult times when I was 8 or 9 years old. She was really present for me. She's sometimes crazy and she's intelligent, but what I like about her is that we complete each other. When she feels down, I'm here to help her.
And what are the qualities that a woman must have to be your friend?
The fear of God and wisdom.
Do you have any activities outside of studies?
Indeed, I am a lyrical artist. I am an opera singer.
Merci.
She's real. She's herself. I love her. She has a personality. She has a beautiful soul.
Me at the beginning, I didn't have a female friend. I had a lot of male friends. I grew up with them. I couldn't stand women because they screamed a lot.
Yeah, a lot of drama.
Yes, it's exhausting. They just want to talk about men, not about interesting things.
If you had to sing a song for her, what would it be?
Raconte pas d'histoire. Tu sais bien ce qu'il ne tourne pas rond. Chez moi, ne m'en demande pas trop. Tu sais bien que les fêlures sont profondes. Chez moi, elle peut continuer, hein?
Now, those are the ladies in Kinshasa. They definitely know what they like in a friend and they have different experiences. One of them was really interesting. She says she wants somebody who completes her. So we're talking about being different, which is good. So you have somebody who's like this and I'm like this, so we complete each other. I think that's a good quality to have in a friend who is just not like you, but completes you in a way.
Certainly. You know, I want to say something. The friends singing to each other, it reminded me of graduation night from high school. My friend and I were listening to Mariah Carey's Time Can Erase a Feeling This Strong. My girl, we remixed it. So my girl, don't you know you can't erase.
So you have that memory between
because you'll always be my baby, you know. And we cried so much. That really brought back memories.
You know, like when you have a friend who you know what to sing for, or when you know what will touch them and you know excite them. That's the kind of friendship what we are talking about, right? That's what friendship means. And also being there for one another, even if you are completely different, knowing when to be there and how to be there and how to, you know, lift you up is something also another quality we heard from some of these.
Yeah, and I really appreciated the one that said also one who is God-fearing, who has wisdom. Because you don't want friends who you think alike all the time. You want somebody to help you with wisdom, somebody who's going to let you know, hey, look, this is what you need to do here to level up, you know. So I appreciate somebody who either career-wise is ahead of me or financially ahead of me or however they're ahead of me so that I can have you know, somewhere to look up to, somewhere to be inspired. So.
Exactly.
I would also want a friend who can hold up a mirror to my face and be honest with me and call me out whenever
I will be that friend,
girl.
I will let you know, girl, you're messing up.
You know, like I have a friend, she's from Uganda, and every time, like for example, if I'm down or something, I like to keep to myself, lock myself in the house. But she knows how to be there, how to take me out of that mood, and create that mood for me to feel better, and come out of that feeling. So you need those friends.
You also need a friend that you can play a practical joke with.
Right, that's
Like,
true.
you need that friend in your life. You need that person.
That's true.
The one you can be adventurous.
I'm that person.
You're that friend? I was always joking, making fun of people.
And I was that person whom I would convince you to do something crazy. When we got in trouble, I would be like, but I didn't force you.
But you are that friend, because the other day we doing social media hit and you are here making faces.
That's how you create memories. Those spontaneous friends who are adventurous and can take you out of your way. That's how you create moments, and those are moments you remember always and laugh about.
Well, this is, of course, interesting topic, and there's so many angles, but let's take a quick break. Please visit our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on VOA Africa, and Instagram and Twitter. We are on VOA Our Voices. We also are on WhatsApp. Our number is country code +1 202 503 9025. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Our Voices. We are discussing female friendship, and this segment, we want to hear a male's perspective on things. We've invited a male colleague, Jackson Vuganyi, who is not only a man, but a married man, who will help us understand what types of input should come from a husband in their wife's relationships with her friends after marriage. Jackson, in your view, how much is the man's fault or the man's role when a wife ends up cutting off all her friends when she gets married? Is it usually your fault?
First of all, ladies, thank you so much for having me on set.
Thank you.
And congratulations on coming back to the studio. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you.
As the resident expert on friendships.
There you go.
Friendship expert. So relationships are very complex, and women tend to have more deeper, meaningful relationships. They are much more emotional. They think about their friends even when they're not together. They are the pressure valve in a relationship. I think that's why women tend to live longer than men, because they.
Yes.
Now, in terms of each relationship, I think specific relationships or particular relationships are different, depending on the person, depending on the couple. So if a man, for example, myself, if I see that my wife is in a relationship that is toxic, that is non-supportive, then I will offer her advice and say, listen, maybe this person is not the right person for you.
That's good.
So you are to blame.
No.
No, I agree with him.
Mostly, I trust my wife to have really good friends. She's had a very good supportive network. That's the other thing about women is their friends come like from back in the day. They went to primary school together, elementary school, high school, college. So those are really deep, meaningful relationships that have been cultivated and built for over a long time. And for you to come in there and you think that you're going to say, stop that relationship or, intervene in one way or another, I think you're getting yourself in trouble.
But irrespective of your interference, so to speak, you find that women still shed some friends after they get married.
Right.
And even before the children come. So what do you...
I think it's just the nature of life, the nature of relationships. When you're committed to one person, sometimes you don't have time for other people, the people that were always part of your wider network. And you're here trying to build a nuclear family, you probably won't have the 100 friends that you had before. And you will start, as you also grow, you start shedding some of those friends.
That's true.
And create deeper relationships with the ones that you feel like, you have a deeper connection with.
That's true. That's true.
Let me throw another question. You mentioned women have some sort of more intimate relationship with their friends than men. Men usually tend to, maybe watch football together, share activities together. But for women, it's more emotional and intimate, right? So how do you feel about your wife sharing some intimate things from your marriage to her best friend?
Well, first of all, I don't know what she shares with her friends. I'm thinking that she shares whatever she's comfortable with. I also trust that she makes the best judgment calls on what she shares. If it is something that she's, an issue, a problem within our relationship, she needs advice from her friend, then, that's fine. I think she needs that. That's her pressure valve. That's her venting. And
that's true.
I'm okay with that.
She needs that. And I appreciate it when you say that you can advise her when the relationship is toxic, because in a relationship you are her accountability partner. And you look out for her, and so it wouldn't be wise for just let her be just so she can have a friend. A friend that is toxic needs to be really like.
And I'm hoping that she would give me the same type of advice. If I'm in a relationship with friends that are not good for me, I'm hoping that she'll be honest with me and say, hey, these are not the best group of friends.
Let me throw a question. What if she says, that guy, he's a cheater, I don't want you to be friends with him because you might start cheating? And that's a really good friend you have, but that's just one part of him that just ain't right. What would you do?
That's a very loaded question, first of all. Also, where did she get the information?
Oh, she did.
Okay. Also, him being a cheater, that is his personal issue. That's not mine. I think she knows better to know that because a friend has some shortcomings that all of a sudden I'm just going to be the same as that person.
Right.
Do you think there should be a line between how close the husband should be to his wife's best friends?
That's a good question.
Especially if you became... Okay. So we have a few testimonies before you answer that question to share about what some females go through with their friends that will help us understand how some actions can cost you a real friend. Here's our first story.
There's a particular time I helped a girlfriend of mine get a job in a company that I was working at, and I was put in charge of a team at that company. So basically, I was a supervisor there. But along the way, we had a major fallout, and the reason is, she started to disrespect me. She wouldn't see me as a supervisor. I would tell the team to do something. She'll be the last person to act. She'll be dragging her feet and not listening, to the instructions that I was giving to her or the team. So I really felt betrayed because I was trying to help her as a friend, and when she came in, she disrespected me. She made me look bad, in the company. So that was really it.
So she got a friend a job, and the girl came to the job and started thinking she's the friend at work, but the lady's the boss. So what do you think?
Again, I guess that is on her to set the parameters, of the relationship. You understand that I'm the boss. Our friendship ends at a certain point.
But they're still friends.
And you have to empower me to be able to do my job well. So are you really my friend if you're disrespecting me at my job? Okay. In terms of your question of, the line. I think it's the woman to set the line. I'm not the one to make the call on you. I want to be really good friends with your friend. Okay. Some friends we are good friends. Also the connection. Some of my wife's friends are not necessarily my friends. Okay. Some of them are my friends, depending on, if we make a connection.
Let me just add some drama to the mix of
the
question.
I like drama. Let's go.
So what if you were friends with a lady and then you got a girlfriend, and through this girlfriend or your wife, they became friends rather. So your partner became friends with a female friend that you already had. Where do you draw the line?
Oh, wow. Help me understand that again.
You want them to be friends. So you had a friend.
You have a friend.
And you got a girlfriend,
right,
or you married someone, and your partner becomes friends with this female friend that you already had, and they get really close. So where do you draw the line?
Listen, again, it's one of those things where I'm hoping that these are two adults, both of them, and I'm not the one to draw lines on anything. I feel like that, their relationship, first of all, is their relationship. My relationship, my girlfriend or with my wife is my relationship. And as long as I know that I'm putting in the work, then I should not be intimidated. Those are issues of insecurity that are already existing in the relationship if you're starting to question the relationship between other people.
But the thing is, you know how you say women have intimate relationships? So you find that sometimes a lot of women share their relationship issues with their friends.
Right.
So when you both have a common friend, it's quite hard to... The lines are quite blurred.
I think you should give up that friend for your wife. Let them be friends. Because, we ladies...
I'm with Oriana.
Maybe I take out,
So Jackson,
I'm glad to have made the connection.
We're so happy you're here. We want to keep you here a little bit, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a minute to share more thoughts on this conversation. Stay with us.
VOA Our Voices. Women are using their voices to empower,
To nurture.
to educate. Amajkuyachu.
Dimsachan.
Murioyamu. Our Voices.
Welcome back. You're watching Our Voices, and we're discussing female friendships. And we are so happy and privileged to have one of our colleagues, Jackson Vugani, here to help us understand from a male's perspective on things. Now, Jackson, we have more testimonies to hear a little bit more about how friendships, between females can be a little bit tricky. Let's take a look.
My name is Agnes Nonsizi, and I am a media personality. What has been my experience been with friendship breakups, especially losing a female friend? Well, at this age, this big age of mine, of course, I've lost some friendships, or we've broken up with my friends, especially women. But there's a specific one I remember that was not quite pretty, because as women, we pride ourselves in, friendships, and mostly because we share very deep and personal stuff with our female friends. And if you get the wrong person, or someone who's just not your friend, and that's the only way you can be able to know he's your friend, by the way. So I happened to realize one of my friends was sharing personal information that I was sharing with her, especially at my workplace, which didn't sit very well with me. And that's another thing. I really don't think you should be making your friends at work, where there are those some who are good, but yeah, that has been my experience. So I had to terminate it, or we had to break up, and I had to sit and tell her, really, this is what happened. I don't appreciate it, and we can't continue being friends. So yeah, that has been my experience. Some others, of course, there are disagreements here and there because you are two different personalities, but with communication, of course, it becomes better. So that has been my experience. But generally, I love friends.
She is so cute. But remember I told you earlier about the type of friends I wouldn't want to have around, a friend who's treacherous. Now, Jackson, this particular friend of ours here, she was betrayed in a way because too much information was shared. Do you advise your wife who's in that particular situation to sever that relationship, or to try to mitigate it, or it's just a lost cause?
Listen, friendships, like any relationship, are based on trust.
Okay.
If I lose that trust in you, that you don't have my best interest, then it's time to cut it off. And sometimes we grow out of relationships. We don't have to be together forever.
Relationship, even if it's a 20-year
Yeah, I mean, it will be a tough break.
Maybe you don't believe in second chances. Sometimes people make mistakes for different reasons.
That's a good point.
And what if, it's one-time thing and maybe there is another.
Right. If it's a one-time thing, obviously, you know, you can reconsider that, you know, talk to them.
I disagree. I think even if it's a one-time thing, it depends on the gravity of what was shared.
Because you don't want your American stuff to be out in the street.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Also the intention, based on the gravity and the intention of that person.
Okay.
If it was inadvertently shared, it was a one-time thing, a one-off thing, then, you know, you have that conversation. It's a tough conversation. But if this is something that's a repeat behavior, then maybe it's time to make the cut.
I'm glad you're saying that, because you will consider all of those things, because there are some husbands who will say, you know what, get rid of that one, get rid of that one, get rid of that one, and you end up being secluded from all your friends. So husbands and boyfriends need to really consider, you know.
Maybe I have a question here, since we're talking about cutting a relationship. How do you help your wife move on from a relationship she break?
Right.
Because as you said, women are very emotional and they tend to really be hurt from losing a friendship. So how do we help?
Again, you provide that shoulder to cry on. You know, you're the emotional support. You're hoping that if she has broken a relationship that was deep, that was meaningful, that she comes to you and tells you about it, then you provide that shoulder. You provide the support. That's what, you know, relationships are about.
And I think I'm really glad you're saying that, because when you give that kind of advice, it's not really just from a boyfriend or a husband perspective. It could be from a brother or a father to give the advice to women, because we really need that extra help in deciding what kind of friends that should be around or shouldn't be around, because sometimes we just hold on to people that
but also women, I think, have a good intuition about friends. Way better than men.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, because sometimes you just vibe with someone and you get excited in that moment and you take that person along with you. And then you convince yourself that I really need to nurture this friendship. And you keep trying to nurture the friendship and it turns into a toxic situation, because even friendships can be very toxic.
Right.
So
that's true.
Yeah, well,
the
this is good.
Here, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Jackson, for being with us. We really appreciate it. And the time is not on our side, so we're going to have to just end it here. We hope this conversation continues on our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget also to continue to watch Our Voices. Until next time, thank you for watching. Good day.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
The Thugy are people that primarily inhabit the lower western part of Benue State, Nigeria.
Their kindred groups can also be found in Cross River State, Enugu State, and also Nasarawa State, all of Nigeria. I'm Saratu, it's Eritrean. The program is Bon Appetit, a culinary adventure. Let's learn a bit more about this ethnic group.
Arguably the fourth largest ethnic group in Nigeria, the Tiv people are an ethno-linguistic group in West Africa, with a population of over 7 million, throughout Nigeria and Cameroon, with its language spoken in Benue, Taraba, Nasarawa, Plateau, Cross River, as well as the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The Tiv people are subsistence farmers, whose main crops are yams, millet, and sorghum, all of which are eaten as porridge or made more palatable by their combination of sauces and stews. It is said that the typical Tiv person does not hold back when it comes to food. The culture of the tribe has retained its uniqueness, customs, folk crafts, and art. The people of Tiv land have one of the most unique cultures in Nigeria, which can be seen in various aspects of their lives: clothes, the tradition of marriage, music, dance, and food.
Today on the program, I have with me a chef who will be showcasing assumption delicacy, which is enjoyed by the Tiv people of Nigeria. Take a look at her profile. We are currently at the Zanzibar Grill and Bar, located at Maitama, Abuja. What are we showcasing today on the program, Chef Benita?
Okay, for the program, today we're going to be having a 2-course meal. That's the agbadi and acha pudding. And we're also going to be having a natural drink, a tiger nut drink. So everything, we want everything to be Nigerian. Wow! So you have a choice of taking it, either taking the agbadi with the tiger nut or the pudding with agbadi.
Are you ready to start? So let's begin. How do you know when it's fully mashed?
Okay, everything will, like the whole beans, you won't see the whole beans. Like you can see this one is.
You can achieve that?
Yes, I can.
With the spoon?
Yeah, I have been doing. I think the iron spoon. So it's advantage.
How about using a spatula?
I know. It's spatula, but like it's really soft for it.
Wow. Even a baby can eat this.
Yeah, yes. That's the idea.
Wow.
So at this point it's mashed and ready to be prepared. So this is where the real cooking begins. At this point I'm going to add in the water, the rest of the ingredients, that's palm oil, pepper, onion, fish, the dried fish, crayfish, and then seasoning to taste. Let's add the water first. Okay. Then add the pepper. Okay. Yes. So,
How much is it? Okay, that's
yes, yes. So I've added in the pepper. So I'll add in the onion. Yes. So you can just help me to mix it.
All of it?
Yes, all of it. Yes. Okay. So stir it a bit. Then this is I'll add in the palm oil.
At this point?
Yes, at this point. Just please turn it when you
We don't measure with it.
No. When you're yes, that's fine. Thank you. Okay. So let's see. Adding the queen right now. It should be the last.
All of it?
Yes, all of it. Yes. Unique coming together.
Unique aroma.
So I'm just going to have to put in the fish.
The dry fish.
The dry fish, yes. Dry fish have been washed and been picked the way I want it. So just turn it in. Crayfish. In every delicacy you're making.
Why is that?
Yes, because it helps to retain flavor better. But if we added it earlier, it would have cooked and you won't be able to get the flavor when you're eating it. So it's always the last ingredient. That if you're having a meal that crayfish always the last. So at this point, a lot of spices a lot of flavors
have been incorporated.
So I actually measured this because it's what I've been doing for a while. So this will just be enough for it. So
the salt and the seasoning.
So I'm not going to add any water. I'll just increase my flame a little bit and let it steam. So once it's steam, and back is ready.
Ready to serve. So we'll let this sit for how long?
Let it sit for at least 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're using an industrial gas. So industrial gas is work. So
it will help with the steaming to be faster. All right. And afterwards, the agbaki will be ready to serve. Wow. Agbaki is ready.
The agbaki is primarily served with a dern, that's a chunk of catfish. So I'm going to cut out. These are the ones I need. So I'm going to wash it. You have those things. I'm going to wash it properly and then spice it up. Marinate it a while.
You're marinating for how long?
For at least 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes is good. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to turn in the fish here. Ready to. I'm putting my pepper. I'll put everything.
Okay, this has marinated for some minutes. Whoa.
quick frying of catfish in very, very hot oil. Okay, we have to make it fry. When you put catfish in very hot oil, it needs to make it fry very well, and it doesn't come out. The fish is fried, golden brown, yes. And it's dry, yes. It's not soggy, yes. Not irritated. It's the best way to fry catfish, obviously. You know, like I said earlier, that the abaki is beans milk served with a dare, that's a chunk of the catfish, and then served with deep fried plantain. Are you going to slice this? Yes, I am. Oh, okay. Yes. The salt, trying to spice it up a little bit. Yes. The plantain is ready. Yes. Anything beyond this now will be fun. Yes, you take it out of the oil. For my tiger nut drink, this is the ingredient I need to make it complete. The main ingredients definitely the tiger nuts. So use my coconuts, go into it as well. To serve as natural sweetener, so I don't need to add sugar to this as well. So I don't need to add. And they are all sweet. Yes, they are all sweet. So complement each other. Now the tiger nut is a root vegetable. It's known for its rich nutritional values. Its milk flavor is reminiscent with both coconut and date flavor. You know, it can actually be boiled, roasted, or juiced. So we are going to juice it today. So there we and it has rich, its nutritional value. It's out of this world. Yeah. It reduces blood sugar level. Then it serves as an immune booster. Then it also increases yeah. Good to know. Nice informative video. Thank you, Chef. For additional flavor. Yes, for additional flavor, I'm going to add some ginger, freshly chopped ginger into it. And blend further? Yes, I'll blend further. It's blended enough. So you can see it's blended enough. So I'm going to take it out right now and sieve it. And after the sieving, the tiger nut drink is ready. Okay, so the tiger nut had been sieved, so we're going to turn them into drinking jars so we could refrigerate them, and it's better served cold. The main ingredient of the acha pudding is the acha grain, milk, and sugar. That's very healthy. The calabash should have been best. Okay, so at this point, the water is boiled, and so we're going to turn in our washed acha. Turn in our washed acha. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so why I wait for the acha to cook. We prepare the garnishing with the grapes. Remember when I started, I said it could be garnished with any fruit of your choice. So we're going to garnish ours with grapes and kiwi. So, okay, and now the garnish. This is a spring onion, so just take a little bit of it. You know, it's the flavor of spring onion sauce. Just to give it a greeny color. It's time. Yeah. Right, so I can't wait everything here too.
Let's dig into the backing. Okay.
You taste
it. Can't wait. I'm lucky with a piece of dry fish. It's African, you know?
Yes. I want to feel what you feel. I got more luck here.
Yeah.
We're bringing Africa to Africa.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We ought to all taste this. Try it out in your house.
Yeah. Adding our milk to stir. Okay. Adding our sugar. So grapes. You want to take your pudding with a little bit of fruits.
Of course.
The fruits
add an extra flavor to
it.
And the pudding is ready. Well done, well done.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we are done with the tasting of agbakin. Now we taste the acha pudding.
So, since you're the guest, I like it.
It's beautiful. I can't wait to dig into this too. Oh, look at them. Swimming in that pudding. Okay.
I just hope you're not exaggerating.
I'm not. It's lovely.
You're making the viewers want to come in here.
But this is something that's readily available.
Okay, so
These
thank you.
ingredients are readily available, and anybody could try it out.
Test it soon. I'm here with. I just hope you're not exaggerating.
The marriage in my mouth is fantastic. Honestly.
Wow.
And one could take this without sugar, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's already a bit of sugar popping out from the kiwi and the grapes.
Yes.
Diabetics should take advantage of this, honestly. It's beautiful. Well done, Chef Benita.
Thank you.
It just occurred to me that we showcased, are you getting it?
Yes.
The core central part of Nigeria, the middle belt, you know, through the agbakin meal.
Yeah.
All right. And then we now came a little bit, you know, down to Jos.
Yes.
We showcased the acha.
Yes.
It's planted in Jos, and of course, if you live in Jos, there is no way you would say you do not know what acha is, or if for whatever reason you've had something that has taken you to Jos, you might have encountered the acha pudding, which you kind of hyped up a bit with the incorporation of the fresh fruits, you know, the grapes and the kiwi. And then we now came back to corn and we're going to taste the kuno aya.
Kuno aya.
Cheers.
Tiger nut.
Let's see what it tastes like. This one is prepared by wow.
What is it?
It's thick and really tasty. So sure.
Can see that in
my goodness.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
It's fantastic. You don't give this to a lazy child, you know.
To what?
A lazy child. Thanks to Bon Appetit, a culinary adventure, you've learned about agbaki, which Chef Benita Zaki graciously prepared today on the program. I'll, God's willing, be back next week with another new cuisine on Bon Appetit, a culinary adventure. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of today. Bye now.
"24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Preview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world. Welcome to Africa, peace and civilization.
"24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for joining us today. On this episode of Red Carpet, we have an interview with the Rwandan contemporary artist, a look at Cameroonian women who play rugby, and the latest in movie making technology. Let's get on with the show. And let's start with some of the latest entertainment news from around the world. It was a star-studded night at the 2022 MTV Video Music Awards in Newark, New Jersey. And here are some of the highlights from the AP. Taylor Swift won the top honor for a 10-minute version of her 2012 breakup song, All Too Well. Puerto Rican singer Bad Bunny was named Artist of the Year, while Lil Nas X and Jack Harlow won Best Collaboration for Industry Baby. Nicki Minaj was celebrated for the Video Vanguard Award for her career of hits. The singer performed a medley of Anaconda, Super Bass, and other songs before paying tribute to artists who inspired her. Lizzo won an award for About Damn Time and told the crowd that she would not use the stage to clap back at critics. And while on the red carpet, Snoop Dogg, that's Uncle Snoop, who also performed with Eminem, talked about what it is like being back at the VMAs.
MTV has always been a place to get off great music videos and have a great time at the award show. So tonight we're here to celebrate. There's a lot of great people that I'm looking forward to seeing tonight. So not only am I here performing, but I'm here as a fan as well.
Anita made history when she won Best Latin Award, becoming the first Brazilian artist in history to win an award at the VMAs.
I'm so happy. I couldn't be happier. Like, get nominated, I'm performing, and I brought a little surprise moment for Brazil. And the first time in Brazil here at this awards. Brazil never been here before, and so I just can't believe this night is happening, and I couldn't be happier.
Vanessa Bryant, the widow of the late basketball star Kobe Bryant, continues to keep her husband's legacy alive. She plans to donate proceeds from her $16 million lawsuit victory over the sharing of photos of human remains at the helicopter crash site where Kobe and their 13-year-old daughter Gianna and 7 others were killed in 2020. Proceeds from the victory will be donated to the Mamba and Mambacita Sport Foundation, a non-profit first launched by Kobe himself in 2016, which offers sports education to underserved athletes. Vanessa's victory comes after she had sued Los Angeles County alleging invasion of privacy, accusing members of the sheriff and fire departments of sharing graphic images of the crash in unofficial settings. Wife of Britain's Prince Harry and former actress Meghan Markle has launched her long-awaited podcast. And it's no surprise that tennis megastar Serena Williams was her first guest. The Duchess of Sussex said the 12-part series called Archetypes, that's a play on the name of the couple's old child Archie, would explore the female experience. Markle and Williams, who have been good friends for years, talk about motherhood and discuss the notion of being ambitious and how it is applied differently to men and women during the hour-long episode. You're watching Red Carpet on the Voice of America. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. From music to fashion to the visual arts, Rwanda's capital Kigali has been described as a creative heaven with a vibrant art scene. It is also home to a young visual artist, Derek Ndushabandi, whose unique artistic style is gaining global attention. On a recent trip to Kigali, I visited his home studio and we talk about his passion and the local art market. Check it out.
I wanted to do something that had a lot to do with my passion, something I loved, and that was art, because all my life, before even coming to Kigali, at a young age,